had a threesome with a male porn star?
So 2 dudes. Yeah, one was a porn star.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the greatest show on earth.
It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. We're back at it. Last night was Long Gone Summer, which I think I'm comfortable with the worst sports documentary I've ever seen in my life.
Worst ever?
Yep.
Dude, that's saying
a lot. I think it's definitely the worst 30 for 30. The worst out of like well done, well-known productions that get hyped up. I really think it was the worst.
Dude, I didn't watch it, but I believe on this very show I predicted that it's going to be terrible because I said they're not going to talk about steroids. And
bingo.
That appears to be what happened. I wasn't. I remember that summer so vividly, but I wasn't that excited for it because I just knew. I knew this is what was going to happen. I was positive.
They at the very end, like the last 15 minutes, they bring it up. They showed the footage of McGuire and Sosa in front of Congress. Which, by the way, why the fuck was Congress involved in that?
Dude, I think I saw you tweet that last night. I
never thought about it until last night. Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute. What? Like that must have been like I can't remember globally what was going on, but 1998 must have been a cakewalk if Congress was like, I don't know, we got nothing else to do. Let's talk to these baseball players.
That's that shit though.
Now, bro, like if an athlete like had to go to their agent and be like, all right, get me lawyers and get me prepared to testify before the government. What?
That's that shit though. That's fucking like that's politics in a nutshell. Because like politicians brought that up and made it a not international but a national issue because then like back home they can be like they can be well liked. They had with the Patriots. Spygate was I forget his name, but that fucking guy from Pennsylvania, Spector, was it? I forget what his name was. But like he made it a huge deal because guess what? When they beat the Eagles, that's when people want to be like, yeah, fuck them, let's take them down. So you become a fan favorite at home if you're like, yeah, this is a fucking an issue for the government. That's
but shout out to like all the baseball players.
Didn't Sammy Sosa need a fucking translator? Yeah,
that was a great move. He was like, I don't speak English. I love that move. It's my favorite thing in the world when there's controversy and guys who definitely speak English are like, nah, I can't talk anymore. But shout out to all those guys who just got up there and fucking perjured themselves and lied. I mean, not a one confessed. It was crazy.
I mean, Rafael Palmeiro, is he in the 600 home run club?
Yeah.
600 home runs, and he's remembered only for that.
I know. I think he'll be the first guy to hit 600 and not get into Hall of Fame because of that. I mean, he also was kind of a weird. Is he the 600? Maybe he's not. Maybe he's. He's up there. I don't know if he's 6.
I think he's 600.
He's definitely in the 500. Let me just Google it real quick. But that finger wag, 569. So he never made it all the way over the hump. But still, that's a fucking monster number. And the documentary last night was just 2 hours of SportsCenter highlights of them hitting home runs. Like there was one point where they're like, McGuire hit like 2 that day and Sammy fell behind the lead, but then Sammy hit 3 the next day and they were tied. And it was just like, okay, yeah. I mean, we know that they hit a bunch of home runs. They barely touched upon McGuire's like stress level, which is something you always hear with the home run chases, Roger Maris and these guys like losing hair and being vilified and the pressure. Barely touched upon that. No mention of steroids. I mean, there's a lot of things they didn't really do. I didn't think they revealed anything new. There wasn't one story that was like, oh, that was cool. I didn't know that. And it's like a cool connection or interaction. But all that aside, you just cannot do that documentary without talking steroids, without it being like the main part, like you can do some of the fun shit, but you have to every other couple minutes be bouncing back to like the juice. And if those guys were ever honest, if you could have a guy being like, talking about his body and how it was hard and like.
What is the reason to not be honest? It's not like an unknown thing.
I would imagine this is if you want McGuire and Sosa involved, then it's got to be a fluff piece.
No, I know, but I'm saying for them, like, why not be honest? what's the point? They're accepted in, like, it's not even like, oh, like, you know, I kind of want, you know, I don't want to bring it up again because fans will talk about it. Fans talk about it nonstop, and fans are like, fucking do it.
Right.
Like,
yeah. If there's anybody from that era that gets the pass, it's those guys. Like when people talk about McGuire, Bonds, and Clemens, it's more like because they were assholes. Those guys don't like people, you know. But McGuire and Sosa's like, yeah, bring steroids back. They saved baseball. It was such a great summer. So if there's anybody who should be like,
I mean, if you think about it in the grand scheme of steroid abusers or users or whatever, the only person who doesn't even get talked about is the person who said I did it. Like Andy Pettitte is the only one who it's like not really a big deal at all.
And that's not a coincidence, man. It was because people were just like, okay, you know, we get it. I think that's, you know, pride and ego and all that shit. But if those guys look at Ken Caminiti, I said, fuck all those guys. If they did a documentary on Ken Caminiti, he is low key like the most compelling, underrated, and tragic story from the steroid era. Like, I mean, obviously ended up dead, but he was the one who like spoke out and like brought steroids to the forefront. And he did
what
it in
was
a
the
way
number
that,
he gave? What was the number he gave? Like he gave some percentage.
50%.
It was 50? I thought it was even higher than that.
Yeah, so did I. I thought that, like, when he said 50, I was like, it's definitely 50. It's probably higher. But even that got people like, no way, it can't be. And that really galvanized the non-users to be like, well, this is fucking unfair. And it was funny when you look at everybody's reactions. I read the article from SI, like, you know, it's 20 years ago or whatever. I was reading it literally in the middle of the documentary. It was so boring. I found myself just reading up on other steroid era players because I was like, this is so fucking bad. But like Mike Piazza, Barry Bonds, a couple other guys, Mo Vaughn, a couple other guys who were like legit steroid users, all had the same quote of like, it doesn't help you hit the baseball. You know, Piazza was like, if you're going to do this, you might as well test in bowling and darts because that's a game of like precision. And so is baseball. It's like they all had the exact same company line, and they're all the guys who were at the top of the fucking list. So, you know, it was just – I could get down with like a E60 short where you just show monster home runs, but like 2 hours of it, I was like, I mean, yeah, I know they hit a bunch. It was crazy. So, and everybody's like, well, The Last Dance spoiled us. Get the fuck out of here. First of all, The Last Dance had its own issues with this where it was like, are they really even telling the story? Second of all, The Last Dance is not the only good sports documentary ever. There's plenty of good ones and there's plenty of bad ones. And the long gone summer fell into the bad category, and it had nothing to do with me. Like, I was not sitting there comparing it to The Last Dance. I was not thinking about Michael Jordan. It was just not a good fucking movie.
I think you were the first person to say last night on Twitter it's not good. But like
I was like nervous to say it, and I was like, I got to do it now. This is just obviously bad.
By the time, probably like 10 minutes after that, it was universally hated. It was like you were kind of the one that, you know, again, according to my timeline, you were the one to first be like, it's not good. And then it was just, it rolled in after that. Everyone's like, this is
mean, if I can be a trailblazer of hate, if I can't do that, then what can I do, John? You know what I mean? I'm not good at that. But I was sitting there, and I really, for the most part, I just always let my opinions fly. And everybody knows they tend to be, you know, I tend to be a very harsh critic. But for things like that, where I'm just like, well, what do I care? I don't need to sit here and say this is bad and rally fucking Cardinals fans against me and then just have like a shitty timeline. You know, I was like, I don't need to do that kind of stuff. And it was like I bit my tongue for like another 20 minutes. And I was like, all right, I can't. This is just not that fucking good. And I did get the Cardinals fans being like, fuck you, you cheated on your wife. I was like, Jesus Christ, calm down. But I do feel very bad for the Cubs fans who, like, they thought they were getting a Sammy Sosa documentary. He was in it, I don't know, 7 minutes. It was crazy.
Not great.
It was a Mark McGuire documentary. I know, Nick, you're a fucking you're a Cubs fan, right? How disappointed were you on that one?
I think that guy honestly made a Mark McGuire like didn't need steroids documentary, and ESPN was like, well, we can only sell that in St. Louis. Let's say it's about the chase, and like we'll get Sammy for 10 minutes. The fucking groundskeeper was in it more than Sammy.
Yeah.
And then they finally reveal like, oh, he got the ball. Who gives a shit? He got the ball. Like fucking show Sammy, show the chase. Like I grew up south side of Chicago as a Cubs fan. Like I loved fucking watching Sammy do that, and Yeah, it was.
Let it out, Nick. Let it all out, babe.
Dude, they did
I couldn't believe it.
with that groundskeeper. I saw that like he was gonna give the ball to McGuire if McGuire agreed to meet him, and McGuire wouldn't.
I think he ended up giving it to him.
No, he sold it for $3 million.
Right. Because it started out with the guy who bought it for $3 million, which was another thing I wanted to talk about. If I had unlimited money, if I had Bezos money, I don't think I would buy memorabilia. I think it's the stupidest and
Well,
not
I mean,
for $3 million, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. It's obviously I did the Cribs edition of our garage. Our garage has lots of sports memorabilia in it. Nothing like exceptionally rare, but
Isn't it just like picture? You have game used this and that, or is it just like
there's a few things, not I don't even know about game one. There's an autographed Bird jersey. There's an Celtics ball autographed by the 07 team. There's one of Rondo's headbands, but that he literally just threw. My sister caught. That wasn't purchased.
See, that's kind of, if I had something like that, I'd put it up. If I could find like you know what I would love? Like a Doc Gooden used crack pipe. Now we're talking. Like, give me something that's a little off the beaten path. Give me something that's a little bit different.
But it's there's I go back and forth with that because it is like you kind of weird. But then, like, it's a great story. Like, it's a fun, if you're at that game or whatever, and, like, you're just kind of hanging out in the garage, like, and it's just, like, a conversation piece.
Yeah.
$3 million is insane, obviously.
Well, I think if you caught it, it's an awesome piece of memorabilia. But when you buy it, I don't know, it's just, like, then that story kind of loses its luster. Like, so say you caught a record-breaking home run ball. Let's say he's on the road, so you're not even a fan. What would you do?
I sell that shit.
Would you like talk to them at all first and be like, "What's your offer?" Like if you.
Yeah, I'm such a fucking coward.
Yeah, I was gonna say you say that, but I bet you'd give it back for free.
If they ask politely, yeah, they can have it.
Yeah, right. But you know what? Honestly, this nowadays, not for something like $3 million. If you have like the fucking Mark McGuire home run ball, that's too valuable. But anything else, you'll probably get a little more legs out of just being polite and giving it back and getting like going viral or like whatever. You know what I mean? Like you have more of an opportunity for that than if you just sold it for like $5,000, you know? Yeah.
Oh yeah. $5,000. I'll take 100.
But if it's big money, and I saw Rico was tweeting about this. Like if I had Derek Jeter's 3,000 hit home run ball, I mean, I would hold that hostage forever.
You'd never give it up.
I would be like the owners in this labor agreement. I would keep coming back to the table with new negotiations. That's just like the same exact thing, just said in a different way. And then I think I would put it. Here's what I would do. I would probably eventually like agree to something, and I'd be like, okay, cool. Like meet me at the stadium, and I'll bring it. And I would show up, and I would have that ball in a gift basket with all the things that he used to give to his hose. And I would put it out there in front of the stadium with a stick of goddamn dynamite, and I would blow it up in front of everybody. Fuck you, Derek Jeter. That would be priceless. There's no amount of money.
Why do you hate Jeter so much? Just because of Yankee success?
Yes, primarily, but I really don't think Derek Jeter is like, as a baseball player and a teammate, is like that good of a guy. I think he was a very selfish dude. I think he hung A-Rod out to dry. I think he's like a prototypical, he knows what to say and how to say it, and the media eats it up, but how none of the fans see through it as like, this dude is out for himself and he's cocky and arrogant, which is fine, by the way. Plenty of athletes can be like that, but relax with this like dog and pony show that he's like the greatest teammate ever. He was just fucking a superstar athlete who knew how to play the game right. He's not like, you never hear stories of him being like that like leader behind closed doors. It was all like him and Posada and those guys had their clique. A-Rod had issues and he never threw him a lifeline. Like all that shit adds up to me. I'm like, this guy, like, stop putting him on a pedestal.
It's a pretty sound argument.
Thank you.
I'll accept all that. Yeah. All right.
I've been working on that one for, 25 years.
I always like there was, I don't know if it was basically Peyton and Jeter around the same time. I don't remember exactly the same time. But that was like, those are guys like I hated my whole life. And then something just clicked where I was like, whatever. They're okay. Yeah. I don't know what it was. I think it was Peyton's not retirement press conference, but his leaving the Colts press conference. I was like, this is a good dude. Like, what can I can't hate him. And then I think Jeter came shortly thereafter. Where I was like, look, he's a legend. What am I going to do? Yeah.
I mean, most of the guys I hate on the Yankees are because of just they're on the Yankees. But then there's a few that like Jabba Chamberlain always sticks out. Like I just fucking hated that guy, and I don't know why.
I ended up liking Jabba because I hated him so much. Yeah, that's like the was it Costanza when he's like, "You hate me so much, it's irresistible," and like my hatred for him, I was like, this might just be love, man. Like I don't even know.
Fine line, brother. A fine line between love and hate. Oh, by the way, I watched the worst movie I think I've ever seen in my life last night. Worst movie I've ever seen in my life is brought to you by Miller Lite. Not even a million Miller Lights could have saved me from this one. Anytime you got to go somewhere, like you got to go to like your in-laws, you got to go to a work event, something you don't want to do, got to make sure you have your Miller Lite on deck. It's the only thing that can get you through these tough times. And it's always fresh. It's always cold. It's always enjoyable. Great taste, less filling, only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces for every bottle that's brewed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And it usually can make even the worst times enjoyable, right? That's the best part of beer. It makes fun times great. It makes shitty times fun. And it always escalates the level to, you're telling stories, you're having laughs, you're enjoying yourself with Miller Lite. This movie could not have even been saved by Miller.
Wait, before you do that real quick, I meant to say it earlier and I just forgot to. When we're talking steroid era, a tweet went kind of viral last night from Connor Ryan. He's a Boston Bruins writer. Pedro Martinez going 101-26 with a 2.2 ERA from 08 to from 98 to 03 is insane. Mm-hmm. Absolutely insane. Mm-hmm. I laughed out loud when I saw that tweet last night. I'm sorry.
Like usually, like a guy like Clemens, you can say, well, like he was on it too. It was an even playing field. But when you look at Pedro, who's like 5'4", and he's just all fingers and arms, and that's why he pitched. I mean, you imagine him in a different era. Like, I mean, usually it's the opposite, we'll talk about it. We're going to do our top 5 today. It's top 5 home run hitters. You take guys from old eras, and usually it's like, oh, they wouldn't thrive in the new era. That they're old. If you put Pedro in like today's game or right before juice balls, I mean, he's throwing fucking complete game no-nos like 4 or 5 times a year. He's putting up 30 wins a year.
He's the GOAT. Pedro is one of those ones where it's like, you just remember going to games. Like you remember, like it's like Dominican Day, like every day there, just like in Boston, where we have our histories here, right? That just like Dominican flags everywhere. Hang, I was like, it was a holiday every time Pedro Martinez pitched. It was insane.
Who would you rather pick? You get one guy right now, Randy Johnson or Pedro?
Pedro, but that's like that's I don't even know the stats. I mean, I know Randy Johnsons are crazy, but like Pedro was Pedro.
Pedro or Maddox.
I'm Pedro across the board.
Pedro through and through.
Yeah, you could give me anyone as Pedro.
I probably would pick him out of. I'm so happy he did a run with the Mets because, like, him and Manny were probably like 2 of my favorite players like ever. Period. Probably because I was rooting against the Yankees, but even as a Red Sox, I was like, yeah, these are my dudes. And then when they got to root for him on the Mets, even just for a little bit on like the tail end, it made it awesome. I would probably pick him over like anybody out of like fanhood and love. But I mean, some of those numbers from like Randy Johnson and Maddox and those guys are fucking insane.
Maddox has one where I forget what it was. It went viral recently, but it's like Maddox had like, I think he has more wins than walks or something like that. Yeah, like if you take out his intentional walks, is more wins than walks, I think.
Yep, he's definitely one of those guys. So is Randy Johnson with like his strikeout totals. Although shout out to Paul LaDuca, he batted like 365 against Randy Johnson for his career. He's the big unit slayer. Anyway, back to this movie. Whether you're watching baseball or watching the movies, make sure you have your Miller Lights. I watched 365 Days last night. Have you heard about this movie?
No.
I actually can't say that it's my least favorite movie ever, like the worst movie ever, because there's a ton of fucking in it, and hey, that makes it better. So it's basically like it's like 50 Shades of Grey, but like souped up a little bit.
Okay, it's a Netflix movie.
Yes, Netflix movie. Okay, I know. Which I am on board, by the way. Netflix movies, I tip my cap. They're never gonna like win awards, But that fucking algorithm that just knows, like, here's how to make a movie that, like, is going to be dumb, entertainment that people are just going to love, or not love, but just watch. I'll trust them. I know what I'm getting into, but I trust it. But I read up on this movie, and it says, the one article I read was all these tweets from people saying, I accidentally watched 365 Days with my parents, and like, oh my God, what have I done? And then I read one that was like, there's a scene involving oral sex on an airplane, 2 times where spit is used as lubricant, like this scene, of that scene, and a frontal from male and female. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll watch. Nope, yeah, you got me. The plot is so comically bad. This dude kidnaps a girl and holds her hostage and says, in 365 days, I'm going to make you fall in love with me. It's like some Beauty and the Beast, like porn type shit. But like, she flat out is, and they brush over these things. Like, she's on vacation with her husband, who she doesn't like. And then like 30 seconds later, she's kidnapped and in a mansion. They don't even show how it happened, why it happened. And she's just like going along with it. She goes from like imprisoned against her will, like assault victim, to doing a Pretty Woman shopping montage in maybe 4 minutes. It is so bad. And but they do some serious fucking in this movie. And I know we were just talking with Kevin Bacon. Interview will be out next week. We're talking about how Hollywood is talking about how to handle sex scenes in post-corona, saying that it's either got to be done away altogether, or they're going to do green screen or CGI. So like, sex scenes are going to be, a precarious thing for the future. Well, 365 got it in right beforehand. I don't know how you can be an actor, like a non-porn actor, and do these sex scenes. It's crazy. See, he's got a flight attendant's head, and he's like just ramming it into his dick. And they do this thing where like you just see her head and her mouth bobbing, but on like the last scene, you see that she's actually sucking something. Like there's like a prosthetic dick there that's going in her. Like you can see like a flesh-colored shaft of some sort that she's actually sucking. I was like, you might as well just suck his dick at this point. She's got, dude, John, when the scene's over, mascara running down the face, she's wiping her mouth and her eyes from the tears. I mean, it was like some real life shit. And then the sex scenes with the other girl is like from behind, on top of her, choking her, hitting her, like crazy shit.
See, you said like it makes a movie better. That movie you're describing does not appeal to me at all.
Too much? You little prude bitch.
It's just like if I'm gonna go, I'll go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't. Like a movie based on like I've never seen any of the 50 Shades of Grey. That doesn't appeal to me. I'm like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. Yep. I don't need to see, because again, they're usually bad movies. It's like any like a bad horror movie goes like full slasher to cover up the fact that it's really not that good a movie. Yeah, and whether it's gratuitous violence, gratuitous sex, gratuitous whatever, that's because the rest of the movie sucks. Yeah, so like if I'm going to watch a movie with sex and a bad plot, I'll just watch pornography. Right. No, I feel that. The only thing I would say is I think it's a good movie to watch with a chick. Like if you're hooking up or like newly dating or whatever, and you're not just in like full-blown like deviant mode, like we're just gonna fuck like animals. If you're trying to like ease into that, I think it would be a good movie. Be like, oh, let's watch this, it's like a sexy thing, and then all of a sudden you're having conversations about spitting on it and shit like that. But like I can't imagine being a regular actor. I mean, he looks down and he just like drips a fucking spit on her. That sounds gross. It is. I want to see that. It's great, John. It's great. It's the chicken is very sexy. I don't know. What article I see on it? It was like it glorifies like Stockholm syndrome, I think. Yeah. Well, it's problematic as fuck. Really? If you wanted to really get into it, like this is a bad movie with a bad message, but it's like it literally is like Beauty and the Beast. Like they've been doing this shit for a long time, but it's weird when he's blatantly like, she's like, get me out of here. Like you're holding me against my will. And he's like, you are going to love me in 365 days. No, you're raping me. You're fucking raping me right now. Right on the cross. Dude, how do you man, shout out to like pitch people. Cause like, how do you pitch that? How do you pitch that with a straight face? Like,
I'm legit surprised it passed like in this era, because it really was. I mean, you could say like it's sexy and sex sells, but if I was like a Netflix exec, I'd be like, yeah, but it's not worth the backlash of like condoning rape or whatever, whatever the takes are going to be.
I'm just picturing like the meeting at Netflix headquarters, and they're like, all right, so you know how like incels and nice guys are the big thing on the internet right now? We're going to really make that look good. Okay, yeah. we're gonna pop. We're gonna kidnap a woman. They're not gonna let her go. They're gonna rape her incessantly, and like it sounds like the plot that Danny DeVito wouldn't do.
Yes. Well, you know what they do? The one thing they do very early on, he's like grabbing her by the fucking throat and like throws her against the wall, and he's like, "I will never do anything you don't want me to do. Like I will never touch you without permission." I'm like, "Well, you literally just like threw her up against the wall by her neck." But I guess he means like touch your vagina. Like that was all consensual. She's like the one who says like when he can and can't. So I guess that would be, you know what he does in one scene? Man, I'm thinking through this. He has one of those like 50 Shades beds with the fucking chains and shackles and shit. And he ties her up and he's like, I'm going to show you what you're missing. And he brings in another chick and she blows him in front of the girl. And I was thinking, that's what I'm missing? Sucking your dick? That's not that good. Like, I'm happy she took care of that for me. I don't have to blow you now, dude. But man, yeah, there's a lot of weird scenes in there.
Dude, I can't imagine having one of those beds. It's just such a hassle.
Yeah. It's had like the full frame. It's not even like on the posts. It goes up and there's a square on top. It's like a full blown contraption.
Like it's such a small part of your life.
Yeah.
That you're like, I don't need a whole room dedicated to this. Like
I feel like unless you just have an endless parade of like new chicks, you can't keep tying up like your girlfriend, right? Like every time you have sex, like I'm gonna strap you in. It's like, dude, this is our 7th time having sex this week. We don't have to do this again, right? Like, come on.
Like we're at this point, like we get shot clocks. Like, all right, we got 8 minutes. Like imagine like setting up for that. That to me is almost like people who get ready for bed. Whereas like I'm just gonna go to bed. I'm not gonna get ready I'm not gonna get ready to have sex. I'm just gonna have sex. And that's gonna be
we don't need to do that. You don't need to dress up. Like it's fun every now and then, but to have like a whole, like you said, room or bed.
And then the pressure of having that room. Like every time you have guests over, you gotta be like, okay, I really hope they don't ask about this room. That's just a conversation I don't really want to have. Like,
do you remember that a video went viral like a few months ago where these kids were swinging from their parents' bed? And it was like, that's your parents' sex swing. And they really didn't think that their room was ever going to be on the internet. And now it is. And you guys are like 9 years old and you're like, mom and dad's like, fucking, that's where they hang their clothes or whatever. It's like, no, that's how your parents fuck, kids. Now you put them on blast, you idiots. All right, let's get into, there's some news going on right now involving Howard Stern that I thought was pretty fucking shocking, to be honest. And it looks like somehow he's just kind of skating because he's like the king of this shit. Brought to you by Rad Power Bikes. The e-bike craze is finally here. It took long enough. To be honest, this is a no-brainer. This should have been done from a long time ago. But now you can get on your electric bike, and Rad Power Bikes are the best in the business because they're the most affordable and the most well-made. You can, whether you're back at work and you want to commute, you can do so on the Rad Power Bike. That means it's going to be a fun ride. It's going to be a quick ride. It's probably going to be good for the environment. And you're going to enjoy yourself every morning. Think about it. Instead of like getting on the train or driving your car and sitting in traffic, all those shitty commutes, you now can just hop on the bike and zip around and get there faster. You can use it to just cruise around the beach this summer. If you're out there on the shore, you want to ride to the beach to and from, there you go. You've got your Rad Power Bikes. No matter what your reasoning is, Rad Power is an enjoyable and effective way to get around town. Right now, you can text SPORTS to 64,000 and you can get a free gift of up to $100 in value when you purchase your e-bike. Free shipping to the lower 48 states. It's got flexible financing as low as 0% APR, but you're not going to need it because Rad Power Bikes are more affordable than anything else on the market. Other bikes can cost up to like $3,000. All of these Rad Power bikes start at $1,200, and all of them are under $1,500. So the best out there and the most high quality on the market. Get your Rad Power bike now with a free $100 gift plus free shipping with 0% APR financing when you text sports to 64,000. So I guess we can do we'll do this. This will be more of a Trump roundup with also with Howard Stern, because Donald Trump Jr. is involved in this Howard Stern shit. But first, Donald Trump walking down that ramp like an old man, just like kind of like foot, step, and then needing to tweet about it afterwards to like proclaim that he was walking normal. I think we talked about this on the podcast like a few weeks ago, how there's like they can't come up with any funny nicknames to make fun of him. They can't get under his skin the same way that Trump gets under their skin. Clearly, you just need to make fun of him and his ability to like walk and drink water when he couldn't lift the water up unless he had two hands. Whenever you talk about that stuff, the dude, he gets on a Twitter spree. It's clearly under his skin. It's like, I mean, that's like Dave. Like when we make fun of Dave, it's like, oh, dude, like you can't hit a wiffle ball anymore. And it's like, what? No, what are you talking about? No. That's the blueprint on how to get under these guys. But it also made me think, imagine how much it sucks to be president, where like, you know, Obama had to like talk about why he wore a tan suit. And Donald Trump needs to talk about how he walked down a ramp. I mean, who in the world
I agree with that one, because stairs, I think stairs, once your athletic career is over, stairs is the only place you can flex on people. Right?
That's your last chance to show it off a little bit.
When you're like, I still got you skipping stairs, you're in good shape. You go up, you skip a stair, or if you can run downstairs, one of the most agile people on the planet still. You ever seen the people who run downstairs and skip a stair?
Yeah.
They're crazy. Stairs, if you're walking with someone and you notice that, like, you take note when they do a double step. You're like, oh, look at Mr. Fancy Boy over here.
Go off.
And if you do what Trump did, where it's like both feet hit every stair.
I mean, that's how that's how Keegan walks up and down stairs. Like, right foot, left foot, right foot, left.
That's that. You see someone do that, you're like, oh, you're not physically well. There's something wrong.
That's the funny thing too, is it's not just like, hey, look at that old man. He's stumbling around. People are like, he's had a stroke. He's got dementia. He's got like nerve issues. I mean, the takes are absolutely flying. I will say in his defense, when you're walking down like a ramp with stairs that are kind of like elongated and it's not a normal, it is sometimes like, I don't know what to do here. Am I going to go foot? Am I going to do long strides? Like, now the tough thing was he had some general right next to him or whoever who was just like pow, 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 walking fine. But when you have long stretched out steps that are only like 2 inches and it's more of a ramp, I look just as awkward as Donald did. I don't know what to do.
Are all stairs, is there a uniform size for a stair?
Are all stairs created equal? It's a great question. I mean, like
right. Obviously, with this ramp in particular, there are some that are clearly different, but as regular stairs, are they all the same height and width?
I bet you there's a pretty uniform standard. It
must be, because you get so like fucking muscle memory that like even if it's a centimeter off, sometimes there is a stair that's a little off, you kick it every time.
Fucks you. I know, it's crazy. The slightest variation from what you're used to with walking. This happened to me when my back was fucked up and the nerve was pinched for so long that my foot started to like die a little bit. And it was like I didn't have the same reflexes and nerve end, like numbness and shit. And the reason I found out is because I just like I kept tripping into things. And I was like, did I forget how to fucking walk? Like, what's going on? And it turned out my foot was just like slightly like dipping. And so I was hitting curbs and I was tripping over things. If you switch up,
really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I also, a buddy of mine one time was just like, why are you limping? And I was like, what? And he's like, you're like very visibly limping. And I just like didn't even realize it. It was like a slow death of my foot. My foot was just dying.
Jesus Christ.
Good times.
When was that?
I was young. I was probably like, it was in college, sophomore year, freshman year. It was wild. That was the beginning of the end for me when my nerves were fucked like that.
Sophomore year of college. Yeah, that was when I really started to get old.
Yeah, basically. I was like 18 going on like 118. But if you, when there's one step that's off or just like a staircase in general that's not like uniform, you're fucked. So I'm actually on Donald's side. The water thing, I don't understand. I don't know why he can't sip water. Remember, he did this during the campaign where he was like sipping it funny back then. It's like, dude just does not know how to drink out of a bottle.
No, but it's not really a surprise. Like, he doesn't know how to stand. You ever just looked at him standing?
The arms are weird. Their arms are just like they're just like dangling, kind of.
Someone once described him as he looks like a centaur standing, but just without the back horse.
Yes, that's great.
Like,
the way he's like
out
up.
forward like that.
Yeah, he's like leaning forward, kind of. It's like he's doing that Michael Jackson, just like slowly leaning in. What a weird cat, man. He is just from the hair to the skin to he's a big dude, but he's kind of lumpy. The whole thing is just bizarre.
He looks like Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, we just like kind of pieced it together, and parts of it are. He looks like in like Men in Black, that one guy who's like inside the human body, but he's an alien. He's all like just weird looking. That's
Vincent DeForno or whatever, right, from Law and Order.
Yeah. That's the dog.
By the way, I forgot to tell Kevin Bacon this. I had a dream last night where like it was just his movie.
Uh-huh.
The movie he'll be on the show Thursday, and it was, but I only watched the trailer, and then my mind finished the movie.
Uh-huh.
Riley reads it in a lot.
Hey,
like, I wasn't sure how to bring it up to him. We're like, yeah, there was a co-star at it, and then Vincent DeForno is Kevin Bacon's brother. He's in it too. That's weird.
Dude, look at you, just making movies, half porn, half normal.
Yeah.
Kev, call me up next time. We'll do a sequel together. All right. Also in the Trump realm, Donald Trump Jr. put Howard Stern on blast because I think, Howard has been pretty outspoken against Trump, and Donnie Jr. wanted to get in the mix. And he tweeted out a video of Howard Stern from 1993 doing an impersonation of when Ted Danson did blackface, and he was dating Whoopi Goldberg at the time. I think it was also a knock on Whoopi. She's so anti, and she's so, supportive of the Black Lives Movement and Matter. And now, you look at this footage where she's just laughing at this guy in blackface. But anyway, I mean, this skit, Howard Stern is calling Whoopi and Robin filthy N-words like 15 times in a couple minutes. And I don't think anything's happening to Howard Stern. I feel like unless today, as we record this, it blows up, I feel like he's just got the pass.
I didn't know what happened. You told about it before the show started. I didn't know. It's crazy. And I mean, yes, that's a double standard. Yes, it's bad. Should he be, roasted for it, or are people going to try to cancel him? Maybe, probably. I don't know. But his response was just like, yeah, I was the craziest. His direct quote was, I was the craziest motherfucker on radio. Like, I did wild shit, stuff I regret, stuff that's bad. I've evolved. I've changed. So you're not putting anything out there that's like that video was already out there. People already, wasn't like, maybe not popularly known, but it's not like Donald Trump Jr. had like exclusive footage. And the way that Howard is just like, yeah, man, it's like what we said about the steroids. All those guys probably should have just been like, yeah, I did it. Cause I think that you're kind of like, he's not bulletproof when you're just like, yeah, I was a fucking asshole. It's almost like drowning someone in bad news. Like, you don't remember the one thing because like it's all bad. So it's like, yeah, like I don't know what I'm going to tell you. I did a lot of it, and like that. Honestly, I don't know. That's probably not the worst thing Howard Stern did.
Right.
Like, there's probably worse things out there. So he's like, all right, at least they're talking about this one and not the other one. I wasn't a very close follower of Howard Stern's career, but I would imagine that's really the tip of the iceberg. Yeah,
I mean, he same thing with like women, where it's like, can you ever pin like inappropriate conduct with women on Howard Stern when he like had them in studios like throwing ping pong balls in their assholes? It's like, yeah, I did it, but I did it on camera. Like, you've already seen this shit. It's a testament to living like totally open. Like, we've seen shit that nobody cares about Dave. We've seen shit that Howard Stern, even like I said, like Dennis Rodman, like, could kill somebody and everyone's just like, yeah, whatever. Whereas A-Rod fails a steroid test and you thought he was a squeaky clean person. So now all of a sudden it's front page news for like a year straight.
Dude, Dennis Rodman got on a motorcycle drunk with a Miller Lite in hand, and we were like, classic Dennis.
Awesome, dude. So cool, man. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. This is nothing new. I have always kind of called it like the Manny being Manny, and Bill Simmons talked about the Tyson zone. And these are all things that we've known with like major stars before. But I would imagine this is probably like as bad. Like if this footage was for someone else, they would for sure be canceled and be wrapped up. And I don't know if I've ever seen like at least from like a media point of view, there's definitely been crimes from a content point of view. There's been people who've like gotten away with like fucking murder, literally. But as far as like a content thing that I think would cancel or ruin anyone's career, I mean, it's not even fucking registering as news for Donald Trump. I keep saying Donald Trump, for Howard Stern.
It's so weird to have to, like, there are so many things that, like, so many steps along that way where you should have been like, maybe I shouldn't do this.
Right.
Like, almost like the bedroom, the fancy bedroom. Like, look, we're going to go all the way downstairs and I got to tie you up and this and that. Like, that's too many obstacles in the way. Right. This one was like so much stuff had to happen. We were like, I probably should have just said I should stop saying it.
He's got the face on. He's got an afro. He's doing like a accent. It is like over the top. And what's always crazy though is Robin Quivers is right there. And she was like kind of laughing about the skit and like speaks up at one point, but in like a joking manner. So he was probably just like, all right, we're good. You know, Robin's signed off, whatever. But it is, you know, he's like the king of fucking media. He can do, you know, I don't think it mattered. Like if what kind of controversy do you think it would take for Joe Rogan to be canceled? You think he's on that like Howard level?
I mean, I don't know. I guess technically, yeah, he is, seeing as he got like a Howard type bag from Spotify. But I also, and maybe I'm just wrong, but like, I feel like everyone knew who Howard Stern was. I think if I went downstairs and told my mom Joe Rogan, she'd be like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, it didn't quite like break into the mainstream there. Yeah, you're probably right on that, which is interesting because that's probably the difference is like, yeah, they're both like the kings of media, but you know, your grandma knows who Howard Stern is.
I don't think Joe really does controversy either, right?
Well, I think that's why he's gotten to where he's gotten. He doesn't like, he's not like censored or clean, but he really never like goes in one way or the other, you know?
Right.
Like, he kind of keeps it down the middle. Did you see Bill Burr on Rogan?
He's like, I'm not doing this, Joe.
Oh, it was the best. It was the best. He's on Rogan and they're smoking stogies, and you can tell that Rogan is just trying to bait him into like which side of coronavirus are you on? You wearing a mask? You not wearing a mask? And Bill, I don't think I've ever disagreed with Bill Burr. I can't remember one time where I was like, I don't know what Bill's talking about. I disagree. He's always just like speaking the normal dude's mind, and he just says, I'm not doing this, Joe. I don't have a medical degree. I'm not going to listen to you who doesn't have a medical degree. Just shut the fuck up. And I was like, yes, it's still funny. It's not like he didn't contribute to the segment. It wasn't like he just shut it down. Still had a very funny line, but in a way that's just like not engaging in some fucking argument that we don't even know what the fuck we're talking about.
Dude, speaking of masks, I was in New York this weekend and we were out at the bars and stuff like that. We're all going to have coronavirus.
Yo, all right. Where are you at? Because I'm getting scared again. I think I'm going to end up killing my parents. That's what I'm worried about because nobody's doing anything anymore.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, it was awesome. It was fun. I would put a mask on to go order a drink.
Yeah,
and then I'd come back into like my little circle and I'd take the mask off there. But like we were social distancing from other groups of people. Right. But like it's still just a ton of people in the street.
Absolutely. And also like, all right, so we were out with Casey, Keith, whoever else, and you guys were fine. But then like, you know, Casey goes and does that with a different crew, and you go and do that with a different crew, and Keith does it, and then you guys get back together. You're effectively just sharing all that shit.
For sure. Yeah.
And absolutely. Like, I'm over like the insane fear and paranoia, but like Florida has 2,000 cases per day now. Like it's growing faster than it ever did. And it's just this time around, nobody cares. I mean, I always used to think it was stupid and ignorant to say that it was like a fabrication of the media, because it's not. Obviously, it's real. But I think we are seeing just how like impactful the media was, because this time around, the news outlets are covering something else, and it's just not talked about now. And it's the same thing. I mean, the same levels of cases and shit, and they just don't care this time.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, media drives stuff like that, but I think I don't know what I think. I got nothing here. We're all just gonna get it. I know. I mean, New York kind of flattened their curve, and like we're doing good. But if we open back up and it slips back to where we were,
I think that's the difference. Is like those states are like just getting to where like a place like New York was. If we just slip right back into that, we're fucked.
Dude, the cops came by and they were just like they like 6 cops just like threw their hands up. They're like, I don't know what to do. Like we got nothing here. There's like I think like 5, like one of the cops was pissed and 5 of the cops were like, they're just having fun. Who gives a shit? And it's like, I don't know who gives a shit, but someone should. There should be an adult in the room, I feel like.
Let's get into our top 5s before we do our voicemails and get into our interviews. Top 5 today is home run hitters, just flat out best top 5 home run hitters in baseball. And got to go get yourself some Omaha Steaks. It's the home run for Father's Day. It is the easiest, best gift that you know is quality, that your dad's going to like. And I can guarantee you that and vouch for that because I've been eating it myself. Omaha sent me their package for the summer for Father's Day, and I just
they sent us a package. We already ate it all, so I ordered another package.
Attaboy. That's the thing. That's how you know when it's like the real deal is that we actually end up just buying it ourselves.
When we pay to advertise, you know it's good stuff.
They have burgers and franks and sausages. They have a package that comes with 4 naturally lean top sirloin steaks, which are aged for 21 days. They have 4 premium boneless chicken breasts, 4 gourmet jumbo franks, and kielbasa sausages, a package of savory all beef meatballs, 4 perfectly browned potatoes au gratin. I actually had those the other day. They're just kind of like, you pop them in the either microwave or in the oven. Oven takes a little too long, to be honest, so I just pop them in the microwave. But you just got like these little like crispy golden balls of potatoes. They're fucking delicious. 4 caramel apple tartlets for a little dessert, plus the Omaha Steak signature seasoning, which also is good, to be honest, because I'm not sitting here. I don't have like marinades and rubs and all sorts of shit. I throw salt and pepper on there, but if you can give me some actual seasoning, classic white people, no seasoning in the house. So you hook me up with that, and my steaks are cooking. They're popping. And when you order all this using KFC, you get the free pound of steak cut bacon. So that thick steakhouse type of bacon that honestly can be like a meal in its own right. This all happens when you go to omahasteaks.com and type KFC in the search bar. You can save 55% on the Sizzle Summer Pack for Father's Day. It's $79.99, and you get the free steak cut bacon with your order. Don't wait now. Go to omahasteaks.com, type KFC in the search bar, and get that shit for Father's Day right now. Top 5 home run hitters. Shout out to Long Gone Summer. I said this on Twitter as well. Those guys amaze me, not because of 98, but because of every other year. Like McGwire came back the next year and hit 65. And nobody ever talks about that. Sosa hit 63 and 64 after hitting 66. And it's just like, oh, well, yeah, they're just like doing the damn thing again. Like, no big deal. I mean, Sammy had 63 home runs, I think, and finished 9th in All-Star in MVP voting.
What?
9th. It's 99. I think he had 63 home runs and finished 9th. It was video game shit. Like, no wonder it saved baseball. We weren't even playing baseball. We were playing a fucking fictionalized sport. It's nuts. Top 5 home run hitters. Lead us off, baby.
I mean, gotta go the kid.
Woo! I think there's two options there. So Griffey, I'll never begrudge that. Are you going for style, swag, prettiness?
I'm going for a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have some names on this list. I don't even know. I didn't even do any research. I don't even know what I'm going with here. But I know I have a couple of names. You're gonna be like, what? And I'm gonna be right with it.
Okay. That's what's good about this is like there's, when you do like 10 fucking ice creams, we're all stealing each other's shit. This is just going to be like 10. I'm going to go with, I think the other obvious one, Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the king of this shit.
Bonds is one of the craziest athletes of all time. It just doesn't make his last year, the year he retired or whatever it was that technically happened, wasn't his OPS like 1,200?
Yeah, he was a monster until the very fucking end. I mean, he was that dude who when baseball still struggles with steroids, but when they implemented testing, something like all-stars and MVP votes and all that shit for guys who were like 30 plus went down drastically. Because I think that was like the main thing that was just comical was like these guys are getting awesome at the age of 38. It just doesn't make any sense. And Bonds was definitely that one where it was like, Bonds was also the most curious case because, everyone says he was a Hall of Famer without the steroids. And it's true, but he was like a 30-30, 40-40 guy and like a leadoff hitter, and then just became – it would be like if Steph Curry now also just had a career like in the post, like backing people up. Like he played like Shaq for half his career. He played, like Steph run and gun for half his career. That was what Bonds was. It was absolutely a fucking joke. What I think is crazy, though, is he had 74, but his other highest total, he never even hit 50.
What?
Yep. 24. He hit 49 home runs was his previous high before 74. His home run total went up by fucking 24. A whole other good season's worth tacked on, which is, that almost makes me, when I saw that, I actually thought, this is a silly thought, but I was like, wow, maybe Barry Bonds wasn't like as much of a home run hitter as I thought. He just played for so fucking long. He played for 22 years, but like, Sammy has 3 seasons with 60. He has like 5 with 50, like crazy ass numbers. But yeah, Bonds went 46, 49, 73. It's just fucking. And yeah, let me see. His last season, OPS of 1045. He led the league in on base, and he still had 28 homers. That's why still led the league in walks. He led the league in walks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 times. It's just 232 walks in 2004 is preposterous.
That picture Coley tweeted last night where the Bonds' hands are up, the bat isn't even in the shot anymore, and the catcher is still in the ready position. That's how fast those balls got out of there. He's like, I might catch this.
Yo, I don't think I realized that he won MVP 4 years in a row.
I don't think I knew that either.
That's crazy. And the year in 2000 prior to that, he came in second. So he would have had 5 straight. He had 4 in a row and 3 others. That's just crazy. So I'm going to take Bonds, steroids and all. Obviously we don't care about steroids here. Just putting that out there.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to decide which way I'm going to go here. I'm going to go Manny.
Ooh, wow.
And you want to know why? Part of it is Tyler had a great tweet last night where like the aesthetics of baseball are different. Where like a step 3 looks like a step 3 in every arena. But like baseball, like a ball taken off into the night, and Manny as a righty at Fenway, just putting balls onto the pike was like insane.
Whenever when you got to see the night sky, like the ball in front of the night sky, that's a pretty rare thing. Like not many stadiums have that, where it almost looks like when you see people at golf ranges, driving ranges at night, and it just looks like the ball's going into outer space. That was Manny, where it was like, I think that one's going to land on the fucking moon.
Dude, he like knocked down Coke bottles. It's like he was just what Manny could do to the Green Monster was illegal. Like there are just holes and dents in it that Manny used to just pound.
I'm surprised, and maybe it's on your list, but Manny over Ortiz as far as your home run memories in Boston.
Yeah, well, not memories. Obviously, Ortiz has the more important ones.
Right.
But like I've always said that I understand what David Ortiz did for the organization and like what he means to Red Sox. But as far as my favorite Red Sox player goes, it's still Manny. I love Poppy. It's not a fucking putting down Poppy. Right. But just like I thought Manny was the coolest dude in the world.
He was. That's what you think. Awesome. Poppy's cool, but Manny, like the oversized jersey, that right hand swing, the chain, the hair, the theatrics. It was just like he didn't give a fuck,
Dude, Manny, I remember when I was told by a teammate's dad that I reminded him of Manny when I was in high school.
What?
And it was like it was because I was just like fucking like mindless out there. It wasn't because of my swing ability, but it was like
one
even
thing you don't want to be compared to Manny for.
He was like you just run out there into the field and like I don't even know if you're playing baseball. You're kind of just out there like being an idiot. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. Whatever, man. I can't have the swing. But
what felt better, getting compared to Manny or getting the number of Matthew McConaughey comparisons you got on Instagram this weekend. Holy shit. John took a picture during like little block party when he was out in the city. And I mean, the amount of comments, all right, or is that Matthew McConaughey? Or I think Nardini said you're the only guy who can go from like the Yukon mustache dude to Matthew McConaughey in a weekend. I mean, you looked a lot like Matthew McConaughey. Yeah,
but like I don't though. So like even in that one picture, that's fine. It's like it's one of those things. Like if I did, that would be great. But like that one angle, I kind of look like him a little bit, I guess. But like
but you know what? We just got to work that angle, baby. We'll like rearrange the studio so that you're always sitting there. We'll get the lighting right. If you have any set of circumstances that make you look like Matthew McConaughey, that's better than not. We got to start replicating those circumstances, man. You know?
Dude, that was what we started doing that day. This is great advice for everybody here. You got to take pictures of your friends. That's what, because like Hubs was like looking cool, and because like everyone wants Instagram pictures, but no one wants to be like, hey, can you take a picture of me?
Right. So just do it for me.
I started taking pictures of people and just texting them to them.
And wow. So you're not even making a thing of it.
No, Hubs was like, what the hell is that? I was like, you look pretty cool right here, man.
Yo, I like that. That's the like the supportive photographer. Like we're not going to make it like you're an influencer. We're not going to bother people. Like let's get together and take a picture. If I notice you're looking good, I'll snap you a candid and I'll send it to you because like you deserve that self-esteem boost. And also like return the favor when the sun's hitting me in a good way or whatever, you know? Yeah.
Everybody
likes it. Everybody likes it.
Everyone likes it. It was. I was taking pictures of Hubs. Casey put one on her story yesterday. I took that picture. I don't know if Keith was still there when we were doing it, but just take pictures of your friends and then text them to them.
It's funny because we're all like, I think everybody who's relatively normal when they see people doing Instagram photo shoots and taking pictures of your food and inappropriate settings. Everyone's like, like fuck these people, But you want to get your Instagram pics off too.
For sure you do.
I commend those people for just being shameless and being like, yeah, take a picture of my ass in front of the fucking protest. But hey, my ass looks good and I don't care. But just do that for people without making them say it.
Right.
That's what you're doing for them. That's a great self-esteem booster. And you know what though? You know what's bad? Now if you're hanging out with John and you don't get any sneaky secret texts, that means you're ugly. That just means you're gross. You never looked good enough for John to take a secret picture. All right. By the way, I still have Bonds' numbers up here. He has 2,558 career walks, most ever. I mean, I don't really know like who the second place is, but that just sounds like a preposterous number.
That sounds like it's like a Gretzky type number. Where like
the next closest is like 900.
Right.
All right. My second one. I think it's going to be a little controversial because of eras and whatever, but I'm going with Ruth. I know that, he was playing against fucking, plumbers and the talent level was not high. But I hate the old school, new school argument, particularly with basketball, but also with baseball. If you took that raw talent and put it in this era with training and steroids. I mean, imagine Babe Ruth on steroids. If he was in the cage, if he was learning about, fast twitch muscles and all that. And I get the idea that, he wasn't literally as fit and as good of a swing and all that shit, but he also made up for it. Like his numbers were so comically better than everyone. Mm-hmm. In the year that he had more home runs than other entire teams. It's like, yeah, he's that far beyond what everyone else is doing. So, he still has, I'm going to see what his career numbers in certain years are high enough that I think it makes up for the idea that like in this era, he wasn't, his career OPS is 1164. Like that is
1164.
Yep. That's like for his career. He slashed for his career 342, 474, 690 for your career number of slugging when you played 22 years to be 690. And how about this? How many times do you think Babe Ruth won the MVP?
6.
1.
What?
One time. I don't know what the award was like, but he won it in 1923. And then the only other times he ever even got votes was 31 and 32, where he finished 5th place and 6th place. So that something must have been going on with like the MVP. I don't know how like that award worked, but the only time he won it was when he had 41 homers and 130 RBI. Yeah, when he had 60 home runs, he didn't even get a vote for the MVP.
I mean, that's insane. There must be something up then.
Yeah, like there's got to be something where like, you know, only certain positions could win it or whatever. But as much as you can make the argument that and by the way, he only made the All-Star team twice. That must have just been like it didn't exist until 1933. I don't know. But I think if you take that raw talent and that much power ahead of its time, it would have translated into any era.
Okay. Now
you're going to go something wacky here.
Now I'm off the rails, baby. Number 3, Willie Mo Pena. Dude. I got my 2 in that I needed to get in. Yeah. Willie Mo was either going to strike out or he's going to hit the ball 600 feet. Willie, if you Google Willie Mo Pena's name, it's once you hit Willie M, it autofills to Willie Mo Pena home run. That's what Willie Mo did, was just hit monster shots. He had that video, like I think it was like last year or 2 years ago. He went over to Korea or Japan, wherever he was playing, and he hit the ball like 600 feet. He's like 35 years old, still went him 600 feet.
I'm gonna go off the rails a little bit here to make this more fun, because nobody wants to just sit here and be like, now Hank Aaron. Like Hank Aaron, he's not even gonna be on this list, is he? Are you gonna draft him? I'm not gonna draft him. Fuck Hank Aaron. I'm gonna pick this next guy strictly for 1 home run only. Glenn Allen Hill, when he put that ball over the fucking apartments in Wrigley, that he could have hit no home runs other than that one in his career, and I would have him on my best home run hitters list. That thing is such a joke. If I was the pitcher, that would have been it for me. I would have hung him up. If that happens to you, and the way he just kind of looks like a dinosaur almost. He's got that weird, like, kind of chunky stance. It just uncorks that shit into a different part of Chicago. I will never, ever forget that home run. It's probably my favorite, like, single home run of all time.
Okay, 4, Matt Stairs. Matt Stairs has never hit a first balcony home run in his life. He only hits second row shots. And Matt Stairs also, the great thing about Matt Stairs was, like, you were like, I mean, I could do that, right? Like Matt Stairs just looked like a guy who you're like, look, I could probably. I mean, he's not this peak physical. He's not this action figure out there. It's just like Matt Stairs, just this big fucking dude with a big fucking swing.
I will go.
I don't know if Matt Stairs. I don't know if the handle of his bat ever got off his gut. It was just a twist.
That's probably how he got his power. He put his gut behind it. I'm gonna one up you, I think, and just take Matt Stairs on a whole other level. Fat fucking Mo Vaughn, who just did nothing but uncork. I mean, he looked like a Ewok. He just had a fat, like, bear cub face, and he had, like, his chin tucked. It was all so tight, but so fat. And then he would just uncork. And I remember he hit one when he was on the Mets. The Mets had that one year. They got him and Jeremy Burnitz and all these other fucking washed up assholes. And we were like, oh, we're going to win 100 games. And they won like 60. They were so bad. But he put one off the fucking scoreboard in Shea. That was like, Shea had this enormous scoreboard that was probably like 200 feet tall. And it hit like 190 feet up it. It was insane how high this ball was hit. And he was just so bad at everything else. You know, it was just like Mo Vaughn was the definition of feast or famine. He's going to stink in the field. He's going to strike out a zillion times, or he's going to put one into orbit. So shout out to Mo, you fat fucking cheater.
All right, last one, Jim Thome.
That was going to be on my list. He was great too.
Dude, Jim Thome, he looks like if you were to build like a baseball player or a home run hitter. Like he had like the fucking crouch. He had just 3 cans of tobacco in his mouth at one time and was just up there. Like he was country strong.
I was going to say that was a corn-fed boy who was just like, I hit baseballs. That's what I fucking do.
I don't think he ever touched a weight in his life. That was just like, he'd get up in the morning at 4 a.m. to like work on the farm. And then he'd come in to hit baseballs and he'd go back and work on the farm.
Let me see. I don't know if they hit home runs here. I was going to say Marla Hooch, but I feel like she was just a good hitter. I don't think she had power. I don't think any of the girls hit home runs, did they?
I was like, I don't even know who Marla Hooch is.
Marla Hooch from A League of Their Own. Marla, what a hitter. That is the meanest thing. I just watched it recently when they do like a little sizzle reel and Madonna like slides into third and her skirt like pops up and she's looking sexy and Kit and whatever her name was are fucking being like flirty. And then they show Marla Hooch from like 200 feet away and she's standing at they're like the camera's at home plate and she's at the infield and they're just like, Marla Hooch, what a hitter. It's just so mean. That girl was just like, I'm the ugly girl of this movie. Like for casting, they just had to be like, we need a fucking disgusting girl.
Is that Rosie?
Huh?
Is that Rosie O'Donnell?
No, it's not even. It's a girl who's even uglier than Rosie.
I don't know. I've never seen the movie.
Oh, it's a great film. It's a great piece of cinema. Tom Hanks is incredible in it. He's just a drunk, mean baseball player who like doesn't want to be there, but eventually like learns to love him and shit. Mm-hmm. But he's just got hammers in. He's pissing. He's like he's passing out. He's always drinking whiskey. He is up there. Let me go though. I wrote down a couple. I'm gonna get one more. Legit one in there. No, you know who I'm gonna go with? Very, very little known one, but I got to give him some love as a Mets fan. Ralph Kiner. Look up Ralph Kiner's numbers fights. Ralph Kiner had a career. It was cut short by back problems, but he has as many 50 home run seasons as Griffey, Mantle, Mays, and Jimmy Fox. This dude was awesome, and he got cut short. And now he ended up being a broadcaster for the Mets who just like kind of rambled on like with like, you know.
Did he play for the Mets?
What's that?
You played for the Mets?
Played for the Pirates. And then
I
don't know if he ever had any time in the Mets. He just ended up being a broadcaster there. The most like unsung hero in the like home run hitter ever. He would have been an absolute stud. So
he went 47, he had 51, 48, he had 40, 49, he had 54, 50, he had 47, 51, he had 42. And these all led the league.
And then he
went in
1946,
right? He had 23. In 1947, he hit 51.
Attaboy. That's Ralphie for you. And then
he had a long career, though. He played from 46 to 55.
That's not that long.
9 years is a pretty good career. That's not a cup of coffee.
No, but when Bonds and those guys played for 22. Usually when you're a hitter like that, you can.
Well, that's the juice.
Yeah,
that's how they really screwed like players now. Because like players had this idea in their head that like, oh, like my like early 30s contract would be my big one. Because like the rookie deals you have their rights for so long that like you're technically like probably out of your prime unless you're, you know, getting
free, like Mike Trout and some shit. Yeah.
You're probably out of your prime by the time your second contract comes around.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, you got to get paid now because there isn't going to be that. You know, when A-Rod signed 2 $250 million contracts, that should not be humanly possible. That's fucking insanity. Shout out to Steroids. Just let them juice. Just fucking let them do it. All right, let us know who won today's top 5. I think we know who won that one. When Willie Mo Pena is on your list, I think we know who fucking won.
Willie Moonshots.
Voicemails today are brought to you by Paint Your Life. This is one of the cooler sponsors we've had in a while. So, you know, Fights was just saying, he got this beautiful picture of him looking like McConaughey. He's snapping pictures of his friends in the streets in a very interesting time where the setting and the scenery, it's never going to be the same ever again. Why not immortalize those pictures with a actual canvas painting that you can hang up on your wall, whether it's a picture of you, your family, your friends, your loved ones, your babies, your dog, a beautiful landscape, whatever you have, an individual picture of yours that's important to you, you can go to paintyourlife.com. You give them the photo and they can paint you make a hand-painted portrait in about 3 weeks. It takes 5 minutes to go on the platform, upload the photo, pick out from a team of world-class artists and work with them until every detail is possible. It is perfect. It can be a great gift. It can be great for yourself to hang, anything you want immortalized forever. Because listen, I have so many pictures of my kids and shit on my phone that I'm like, oh, I want to save that. I'm never going to go back and look at them. ever.
Right.
And eventually, I'm going to run out of storage. I'm going to need something, and I'll delete a bunch, and I'll never use it again. But when you get that particularly good one, there's like a really cute one, a really memorable one, immortalize it forever in a painting at paintyourlife.com. You can text the word KFC to 64,000, and you can get 20% off your painting plus free shipping. So text KFC to 64,000. When you go to paintyourlife.com, pick your photo, upload it, and get a world-class artist to immortalize your picture forever. Once again, paintyourlife.com, text KFC to 64,000 to get the deal. Let's go.
Oh, what's up, KFC Fights BC? I got kind of an important question for you. So here's the backstory to it to get to the point. So I'm friends with the gay guy at the gym, and he always keeps the tabs on like the closeted gays at the gym and all that because he thinks it's funny, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, we're friends on Facebook. We've been friends for a while, and he realizes that one of the accounts that he finds on Grindr is my brother-in-law. So I went out of my way. I downloaded the account. We got family dinner coming up this Sunday, so I'm going to check the distance. I guess it shows distance up to footage on how close they are to you to see if it's actually my brother or a catfish account. But assuming that this is actually my brother-in-law, married to my sister, they have a second kid on the way. What in the fuck do I do? Like, I can't bring it up.
Dude.
I'll crush my fucking sister's fucking hopes and all this shit. So, assuming that this is actually my brother's fucking Grindr account, or my brother-in-law's Grindr account, what the fuck do I do? Do I address it? Do I just let it go? Or what do I do about it?
Fuck the guy who showed you this, by the way. I don't know if it was like an accident, like, hey, look at this list and you saw a name on it. But I just want to put this out there. If anybody can find like a secret Grindr account of like my brother or like someone in my life that I need to like, don't show me. I don't want to know. You don't put that stank on me. Now what am I supposed to do with it?
My brother, I'd want to know. Because that's like, yeah, I can help him. So I'd be like, but yo, just so you know, like, I know it's cool. You know,
yeah. Right.
But in this situation, I wouldn't want to know because now I'm going to break my sister's heart.
Right. Do you though?
Yeah, you can't.
See, I've done this before with couples who are cheating where people feel the need to speak out. And I'm like, I think she or he already knows. Like, I think that this is like understood. And I think if you bring it to the forefront, that person's going to now feel like compelled to act. And it's like, I think there's a chance that she knows.
She knows.
Women are smart. Women intuition is a real fucking thing, man. Unless this dude is like unbelievably sneaky with it, I bet she has an inkling or knows and is just like, he's a good father. We have a good thing going. Or maybe not, but like, if there's even a possibility that could be the case, and now you're the one who brings it up to the point that, she feels like she has to act on it, or she has to say like, yes, like I know that now shut the fuck up. And now it's awkward between you two. I don't know. I think outing people is a dangerous game to play too. Nowadays.
If you want to say it's outing, you can just leave out the fact that it's a Grindr account. You can just be like, I know he's on dating apps, but like, especially if they have a second kid.
Oh, you mean all right? So don't say it's the gay app. Just be like, I heard he's on dating apps.
I mean, I would say it. I would be like, yeah, he's on Grindr. But like, I guess if you're concerned about like an outing type deal, then you could just say like he's on a dating app. But if it's my sibling, I would say something. But anybody, if it's just a friend, I'd fucking leave it go. But like a sibling, I would have some kind of familial responsibility. I think I'd feel.
Would you talk to the guy first?
No,
like if you don't tell her, I will, sort of thing. Like I'm gonna give you the chance to like be honest about it.
Yeah, I guess I could.
That's like then you might. Maybe there's something like okay, I understand. You don't have to do this hiding anymore, but like we're still going to raise our kids. Like it might be like an agreement between them. Whereas if you tell the person, then it's like I caught you cheating, sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess I'd offer that. Like I don't know. It depends on what my relationship was like with him. Like if it's the guy I kind of say hi to, then I probably wouldn't. But
Right.
like if we're tight, I'd probably be like, look, you got to do the right thing here or whatever it is. But the
But listen, a kid on the way, dude. Like, what if you tell and then she says, okay, thanks. Like, thank you for telling me. I'm gonna go talk to him. I think that we can like work this out or have an agreement or whatever. Then she confronts him and he gets like embarrassed or flustered and he's like, fuck it, I'm out. And now all of a sudden you've got like a single mom with 2 kids.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I know. That's why I know it sounds bad with things like this, but like I do believe once you're in like marriage and kids and like dicey shit, I kind of believe it's better to just like stay out.
With anyone else, I would, but like a sibling is different. It's like,
yeah, no, I agree with that. You're right.
And then also, like, once, like, if she does find out on her own and knows I knew,
then you're fucked.
And now I'm fucked. Where it's like, I don't want to be involved in any of this, but like, I don't want to be like I was hiding, like helping your husband. Like, you're my sister. You're the one I'm on whose team I'm on.
If you got cheated on, but it was a girl who was like, I'm gay, and I figured it out, and now I'm hooking up with girls, would you still be like offended or mad like in the same way?
No.
Right? It's totally different, which is funny. Yeah. It shouldn't be. It should be like you're having sex with someone who's not me, but the part of it being like, well, oh, you just didn't want any of this.
Yeah, that's easy. Like, you just do not like me. That's fine. Yeah. Like, what am I going to do?
Well, no, it's like you don't like, it's not that you don't like me. It's that you don't like, yeah.
Anything. Honestly, even if you're just like, I don't like you, I'm like, all right. That makes sense. It's if you like honestly, I wouldn't if you're gonna dump me, you don't unless it's true, you don't need to give me the it's not you, it's me. Like,
it's you.
It's you. I'm like, all right, I get it.
Can you imagine someone saying it's not me, it's you?
It's like it probably is. There's not always that way, but there's plenty of things about me that are a deal breaker. Like, so you just realized it. Congratulations. I've known for quite some time now. I genuinely don't think I would be offended. Because like anything that you don't like about me probably isn't something I could change. It's probably just like me. So it's like, well, all right. I'm not for everybody. I understand. Right. And I think you're incredibly narcissistic if you think you are for everybody. Why should someone love you? If
you're so shocked that someone could choose to not be around you anymore, what are you, so special?
Right. Like, most of you is bad.
Right.
Most of the things that you put out into the world are like not really that special.
I can see the Matthew McConaughey comparison lasted for about like 18 hours of self-esteem, and we're back to our regularly scheduled programming. I'm terrible. Dump me. Next up.
But also, like, the good things about you are like I think most people have enough bad things about them that they should die alone. But there are good things that like you can just kind of like lean on that. If you like if I got dumped, I'd be like, I get it. But also like I got this stuff too. It's pretty good.
You know what? When I hear this die alone nonsense, what's better? Dying alone? What's worse? Dying alone or dying like next to some like wife or husband you've been married to for 60 years and now you fucking hate each other? Who cares about being alone? I can't, for every one couple where they're like, look at this 99-year-old couple who they both beat COVID and they're like crying together and it's so sweet. That's it. That's like the one couple in the world that likes each other.
It's headline news. If you're old and in love, it's headline news.
Right. And it should be. And I think they're lying. I think they're wrong. I don't think they know like what love means. They came from like the Great Depression and World War II, and they're just happy to be alive. And everybody else with any sort of like standard is like, this person, they don't really like me for who I am. They like encroach on my freedom. They don't let me do this. They give me problems with that. It's not working anymore. It's over for relationships. I'm putting an end to relationships. At least give me the expiration ones, 10 years and then you're out. Give me an opt-out clause. Next up.
Hey, guys. Quick, am I the asshole question here? You guys talk about when other guys kind of gas each other up, whether it's, hey, I like those shoes or, nice hoodie or whatever, and how good that can feel sometimes. But my question is, there's a guy in the office who is just known for continually gassing people up on a daily basis to the point where it's every hour. And when he makes, or gives me a compliment, I just completely disregard it now and don't even say thank you. I'm wondering, am I the asshole for just discrediting his compliment, or is he the asshole for just gassing people up way, way too often, and now it just means nothing?
This is like Andy Bernard. This guy decided he's going to walk in the office and use tactics to like have friends and like, companions. And you can't do this. You can't do it more than like once a day.
I say it all the time.
You don't do this.
I don't say it when I don't believe it.
Well, right. That's fine. Okay.
Say it a lot.
That's fine. But if you're going to stick to, I only say it when I mean it, there's no way you're saying it every hour.
Oh, I didn't hear the hour part.
Yeah.
No,
he said like multiple times a day. Like if I see you and your outfit's cool, I will mention it. Now, an hour later, I probably could be like, oh, and your hair looks good today. And like, oh, I saw that blog you wrote. Like you can probably find things every hour to compliment someone on. But if you overdo it, then the actual ones that really usually boost your self-esteem, they lose all its luster.
Right. Yeah, no, that's for sure.
But now, flip side, this guy runs around the office and he's giving everyone compliments. And this dude just does not even respond. Not a thank you, not a like, oh yeah, this old thing, just no reaction. I understand it. I think you're within your rights, but now you're going to start to look like the asshole at work too.
You're definitely the asshole. The other guy, you're not an asshole for over complimenting. It might.
You're annoying.
It's really emotion to it.
Yeah.
But you're not like an asshole. You're kind of just like, all right, dude, I get it.
You're never going to be called rude for being too complimentary.
Right.
You could be called annoying, awkward, disingenuous, but you're trying to do the right thing and be a nice person. Whereas the guy who just like disregards a nice compliment, maybe some other guys are like, yeah, well, he doesn't respond to Randy because Randy never fucking stops. But for everyone else who doesn't know the details, they'd be like, you're just a jerk, dude.
Yeah, like, bro, he just said nice tie. Be like,
right.
Thanks,
say something.
Yeah. And you gotta return volley too with compliments. You can't just go, thanks, man.
You know what? I think I would prefer, I think you should return volley like an hour later or after lunch or something. Because if you're like, nice shirt, man, I'm like, no, okay, thanks, man, nice pants.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm looking for something.
I'm usually the initiator, so I don't really notice if I return volley ever. But I guess you're right. It does feel like piggybacking.
Right.
It's like
if you really thought that, you would have said it first. Now you're just saying it because I said it.
Right.
But
right.
I think you should almost make a mental note and be like, all right, I'm going to give John a compliment at like 4:00. It's like when someone's like, oh, did you remember it's like Tim's birthday? And you both are like, let me go text him. It's like, no, we got to stagger it because then he's going to know what's up. You got to stagger it a little bit so that you don't sound like you're just fucking throwing it out there willy-nilly.
That's the way I am with the thank yous for dinner too. I say my thank yous in the parking lot. Everyone gets up at the table and says thank you to the person who bought dinner at the same time. I'll catch you outside.
Now you just got to work on giving condolences to people with dead parents. And then we're good.
Hey guys,
next up,
Matt from San Francisco. First time, long time. Yeah, I was just calling in. So my girlfriend and I have been dating for about 6 months, and we've gotten to the point where she started to like leave certain clothes in my house, including her underwear. And so today we woke up, she showered, and then she was searching through the drawer for her underwear, and she found a pair, and she said, "Huh, that's weird. I don't ever remember these. That's funny." And she just shrugged it off, and then ended up wearing them. But she didn't remember them because they belonged to a different girl I was seeing 2 years ago. So now my current girlfriend is casually wearing around my ex-girlfriend's underwear. I assume I just have to take this to the grave.
Yes, yeah. You take this to the grave. First of all, she knows that you know what underwear you have and what underwear you don't have.
Oh, I disagree with that.
You think that girls are gonna not know that like this is someone else's thong?
I don't know. I mean, I probably wouldn't notice. I'd be like, I don't remember getting these. Especially like I have a lot of underwear.
Maybe, like it depends on how different we're talking. Like if you were to get me, if I were to all of a sudden have a pair of like Armani underwear, like I never had these. I know I never had that. If it's just like I have the black Calvin Klein and these are like the purple Calvin Klein, then maybe not. But if this girl is like if this is like a distinct pair of underwear, I think she knows.
Yeah, then that case you probably know. But if it's like a black Victoria's Secret thong, then she's probably like, yeah, this could be mine.
But wouldn't it be? I don't know. I feel like it would be either like if it's enough that you say like I don't remember this, then it's not just going to be like a black Victoria's Secret thong. Either way, I feel like they're like she probably doesn't know because I don't think many girls would bite their tongue on that one. They wouldn't say anything at first, then they would bring it up like after like a few drinks or something. I think if you slide them on and you're wearing them, you probably have been like confused, right? If you have any inkling that it's another chick and you're just like putting her pussy on yours, I don't think that would happen.
Do you think girls find it way grosser to share underwear? Because like I don't care about sharing underwear.
I would imagine, yeah. I saw Kate put up a tweet that said like girls who try on bathing suits without underwear are like the bravest women in America or something like that. Like I think they're very conscious of putting on underwear that's been rubbing up against someone else's vagina. It's funny though, even if it's been washed, you know what I mean? It's like these have gone through like scorching hot water and soap, and I'd be like, nope. I don't want that.
Are you that way with like your guy friends? Like if you're like, let's say you're at a beach house and someone's like, I got a bathing suit.
John, I almost went to you and asked for underwear at the Memorial Day. I ended up staying a day later than I thought. And if I didn't have I had just like Barstool indoors pants that I just put on fucking commando because we were driving home. But if we had to like go somewhere or do something, I would have been like, yo, give me some underwear. Okay. I'll use your toothbrush. I'll wear your underwear. Whatever, dude. I don't give a fuck about that stuff. Other people probably do. I would imagine guys in general, though, are more lax about it than chicks, but also rightfully so. It's like that like rubs up against your asshole all day long. I don't want to wear that.
Yeah, this is just like an extra finger in your shorts kind of touched it a little bit.
Let's do one more and we'll get into our interviews. What do we got?
What's up, KFC Bites, super producer BC? I have a question for you guys. If you got a tattoo that was based off of a TV show or a movie, what would it be? And by this, I mean that any of the characters could have had it, or it could be some sort of quote or symbols that were throughout the show or movie. Mine would personally be the Lost numbers, probably. You guys were talking about it on last episode. Big Lost guy. But I'd have it hidden so people don't ask me what obviously the numbers mean, because I hate when people fucking do that with tattoos. But anyway, let me know. Thanks, guys.
This is a great question.
American History X.
Whoa! I mean, it would be memorable.
Did he say he has his tattoo hidden because he doesn't like when people ask what tattoos mean?
Yep. I mean, what's the point of getting them?
I mean, if you have a tattoo, people can ask what they mean. That's what tattoos are.
Also, if you get like a TV tattoo, like I could see something, you have a dead friend, you have something wrong with your family, and it's like for you, maybe
right.
You put that somewhere and it's just like, it's comforting to you, you're like permanently with them, whatever your reasoning is. But something like, hey, my favorite TV show is Lost, 4, 6, 18, 23, 42. Like, why get that if you're not going to be like, yeah, I'm a Lost fan, check it out,
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't make any sense at all to me. I think it's a kind of cool tattoo. I just don't think it makes any sense to be like, I don't want people asking about it. Like, your relationship with Lost is that deep and spiritual that like it's just a permanent mark it's just for us. We know what it means. And
like, I mean, if you're really deep into Lost, you could say that like, the numbers kind of represent like fate versus coincidence and like, good luck and bad luck. But if you're and if you were going to do that, and you're going to get it inked on you, you probably would be that type of diehard fan. But then why hide it? Why not show it?
I don't know.
And I'm not saying, when I get a tattoo, it's going to be like subtle, but you don't have to have it like across your chest, but to specifically put it somewhere where people can't see. It's like when you make music that you don't release, it's like, I don't want people to hear it. Well, why do you fucking do this? It's a good question though. What would be?
I don't even know. Like, I don't even have an example. I think American History X is probably the most iconic tattoo that there is, just because, like, not in a good way, but just like most memorable. It's very, very memorable tattoo.
Right.
So that was the first one that came to my head. I can't even think of a second.
Would you get like a quote? I think it's way overdone, but I think at some point in history, maybe a Clear Eyes, Full Hearts Can't Lose would have been like a cool quote. Now it's like, everywhere.
Yeah, if I was a high school football player, maybe I would have gotten
Right.
that. But
Yeah, like the right timing and the right that to me is probably TV wise the best, like the most memorable quote or like catchphrase. I don't know, there's a lot. I mean, again, is it tattoo worthy? It's like when I think of TV catchphrases, am I gonna get "that's what she said" tattooed on my body? Probably not. Am I gonna get "I'm the one who knocks" tattooed on me? Probably not, It's funny. It's like I love TV more than like anything, but I don't know if I would like ink myself with, or would you just get like a person tattooed on you? Would you get like a face or a character or something? Or what about like I could see people, I bet you this is popular. I bet you people get like a sword from Game of Thrones tattooed on you or something.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest tattoos is that like the Stark family, they all have like the Stark tattoo.
What do they have?
They have like the Stark crest.
Like the wolf mouth or whatever?
I don't even know if it's the wolf, but like it's like what's her name has it, and I think Arya has it, and
like a family.
John might have it. I forget. Some of them have like the Stark. I don't think it's the wolf. I think it's something else. Let me Google it real quick.
Yeah, I could get down with that if it was like that's almost you need something that the characters themselves have a tattoo of, and you get it as well. But I think picking anything like from a TV show, I think my favorite quote. I'm so deep in Lost, man, and I just every episode.
It is.
Yeah, I'm so deep into Lost, and every episode is so fucking good. But I just have this inevitable feeling of dread. It's so weird. It's like as episodes get better, I'm getting more down about Lost because I'm like, the bar just keeps going higher, and I know how far it's going to fall. I am praying to God that, I have a different perspective and a different time, and I've seen different shows that maybe it won't be as bad of a letdown. But I don't think I've ever seen a show that as it gets better, I get more disappointed. But I know everything builds up to me. The episode where Jack says we have to go back. I might just get "we have to go back" across across my back. That to me is the best. I think that's my favorite TV moment ever. I can't wait for that to come back on this. I'm gonna fucking come.
When that's late though, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's like season. I want to say probably like 4-ish. You know what's crazy? Ben Linus doesn't show up until season 2, episode 14. That's fucking 40 episodes into Lost before Ben's even there.
That's crazy.
Because I was like, I'm rewatching. I'm like, I can't wait to get to Linus. And then I'm like checking the episode list, and it's like not even close, dude. So, that just shows how much that show, like, if you're watching it for the first time, you have no idea what's coming.
I'm starting it again tonight. That's happening.
Do it with me. Come on, bang it out. We can talk about it because it's like, if you're watching in the beginning, you're like, all right, these are like castaways. How are they going to survive? And then when you think about where it finishes, you're like, holy shit, that show. You know what's nuts about it? I guess you could say this for a lot of shows, but particularly Lost, like the whole series, they're like in the ocean or walking through the woods, or like, it's not like a show where you show up on set and you're like sitting in the coffee shop, like in Friends.
Yeah.
Right, time to go to work. I gotta like smear dirt on my face and rip my clothes and get in the water and all that shit. Those guys really went out there and earned it. So maybe if I had to pick a tattoo, just we have to go back. All right, let's get into our interviews. Today they are brought to you by Screwball Whiskey, the perfect drink, especially for the summertime. I feel like, certain drinks have certain seasons. And I think that whiskey is usually considered, a warm weather, cold months type of drink. I think Screwball, when you add a little flavor to it, and we're talking about mixing up peanut butter and jelly, and you mix it up like sweet drinks, you can drink whatever you want all year round. But Screwball really lends itself to the summer months as well.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Whiskey definitely is a winter one, but when you fiddle with it a little bit, you have like a nice whiskey drink like that. What was that one I was drinking when we were out to eat when you came here? That was a whiskey based drink, but that was like. That was a summer drink still.
Yep.
This makes it summery.
This is a little bit of sweetness, that peanut buttery flavor. It's savory. It's creamy. Like I said, you mix it up with some grape. You're doing peanut butter and jelly. You could put some vanilla ice cream into it, and all of a sudden you're doing like a milkshake, dessert deal for the summertime. So Screwball Whiskey, don't limit yourself to just winter months. Get your Screwball on for the summer. It's the original and most awarded peanut butter whiskey, and now it's available near you. It's 70 proof, which means it's the perfect shot or perfect addition to your cocktail. Still get your buzz on, but it takes the edge off a little bit, so you don't have to be like a hardcore whiskey neat kind of guy to enjoy Screwball. Guys, girls, amateurs, veterans of the game and whiskey, everybody can drink it. Pick it up at your local store. Get it delivered today. Get screwed. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more info. Enjoy responsibly. Advertising by Screwball Spirits, LLC, San Marcos, California. Whiskey with natural flavors and caramel color, 35% alcohol by volume. Let's get into our interviews. We got Krystyna Hutchinson from Guys We Fucked, who has a new comedy documentary out that sounds awesome. And Krystyna tells us a story of a threesome with two guys, one of which is a porn star, that I think is like the most unique story I've ever heard. That would be my cocktail story. Like, hi, my name's Krystyna. I once fucked two guys, including a porn star. I've been thinking about that guy nonstop, thinking about being the average normal guy who was involved in a two male, one girl threesome with a porn star is the most intimidating thing I've ever seen.
A lot of pressure.
How about this? I didn't want to say this during the interview, so I'll ask you now, because I didn't know like just how vulgar and weird we can get. Like, what kind of threesome do you think that was?
I think
you think it was the real one? You think it was the real one?
I had to guess. I don't know. We can reach out to her and ask, but
yeah,
I would guess.
What do you think if I ask that question?
Your toe in the water or something like that. I feel like
if I asked that question during the interview, how do you think it would have gone over?
Oh, yeah, it'd been fine.
You think? I really thought she would have, but I was like, maybe it's a bit much to be like, so do you have a dick in your ass and your pussy? That's really what we're saying here. So my question to you.
If you say it that way, yes, maybe it's a little much. But like, if you were like, what kind was it?
What would you rather have if you're a normal dude and you're trying to like hang with a porn star? Is there one that's better than the other?
They're all not going to go well.
Yeah, it's all not going to be a good performance from your boy. All right, so let's talk to Krystyna now.
All right, we got Krystyna Hutchinson back. You know her from Guys We Fucked. Been on the New York City comic circuit for a long time. How you doing, girl?
I'm good.
Yeah. Are you holding up all right? Are you one of these people who, like, some people thrive in quarantine and some people are, like, suicidal? Where you fall?
If I had to guess.
Well, I was suicidal like a couple days ago, but I'm mostly thriving. I got a puppy.
I was going to guess.
I feel like I'm, like, anybody I'm friends with or I like, they're okay with quarantine. And the people who are not, I'm like, yeah, we're not going to get along. I don't know.
I got
we're
a
not
puppy.
Oh, how old?
He's 5 months. His name's Kevin.
Hey, great name. Why'd you name him Kevin?
Kevin McAllister, after Kevin
Love
McAllister.
it, boy.
Kevin McAllister, McAllister Hutchinson.
I'm loving you more and more every second here. When did you get him?
I got him. Oh man! Right as the quarantine hit, right as we were in lockdown.
Was it because of quarantine or? Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, if I don't get a puppy, I'm going to kill myself. So it's a fine line between thriving and suicide.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a,
put it on a T-shirt.
It's a knife's edge dance.
Yes, I love that dance. It's my favorite.
And any like, have you had any moments of regret where it's like you got to walk him at like 5 a.m. or whatever, and you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have done this?
Not one. This dog is amazing. The only regret was apparently I left weed on my floor, and I walked over to the dog. This was like a month ago, and he was walking crooked and falling over and looking. He looked like he was in The Exorcist, and I was like, "That's not okay." And it was 3 a.m. I was high as fuck, and I had to bring him to the ER. And I didn't even know that weed was the culprit because I thought he was having a seizure. And the doctor said he was having a neurological episode. And the first question he asked me, because it's COVID, so I had to wait at this pet ER in the parking lot in a clear tent, like it was like E.T.'s, like Elliot's house in E.T. That's what this tent looked like. And I was waiting there for like 2 hours, and then they finally called me, and they're like, "Do you have weed in your house?" I'm like, "Yeah." Why?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to New York City. Yeah, all right, narc.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's a marijuana intoxication. I was like, "Oh, he's just high." Okay.
Dude, I always wondered that, like, what I would do, not with a pet necessarily, more of a friend, where if I got to the hospital and they're like, "What do you take?" Like,
Can I tell you?
How important is it? like what are we like? Are we really close to the end, or can we go a little further before I divulge my secrets here?
Well, right before quarantine, I did mushrooms, and I spoke to the devil. Man,
Really?
It was the worst 12 hours of my life.
Are you a seasoned vet, or was this like first time sort of thing?
This was my first time doing a full dose. I had these chocolates that I bought from some guy on WhatsApp, and
I was going to joke Craigslist, but it was worse.
right. And they were good. They were like, but the farthest I would ever get was like maybe the patterns in my desk would start to morph a little bit, and I was like, okay, that was the farthest I ever got. Everything turned into a cartoon. My friend and I went to Roosevelt Island, and we did them, and everything turned into a cartoon, and I was just crying in the middle of a field, like scream crying, and he was like, we should go. And I'm like, why?
We should get out of public. We should be indoors.
And the thing is, there, like, when you're saying why, there's nothing he can do. He can't pick you up and take you, because that's a whole nother problem we got now.
Yeah, my defenses, yes.
If put it this way, if someone sees a man picking up a screaming, crying girl and dragging her out of a park while that's not going to go well.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it in the Blacklist. They try and tell, they're like, look, my sister, she's just a little out of it right now. She's out of sorts. She's coming down or whatever.
My sister.
And guess what? That woman was a kidnap victim. So police should not listen to that. If
That's
they say she's coming down.
That's actually a good tip for a kidnapper to say it's your sister.
Great.
It's a what?
It's a great tip to say it's my sister.
From a kidnapper.
Yeah, that's true. Because even if it's a girlfmind, it's kind of like, well, it doesn't fucking matter, dude.
Right.
But sister,
We're
wow,
family. We're
whatever,
family.
man.
So what?
We're close.
When you say you spoke to the devil, was it just the sights and seeing things, or did you go through some psychological shit?
Oh, I was crying as if I'd gotten my heart broken 3 times by 3 separate people, and my mom just died. Like the sadness that I was feeling, I wanted to die the whole time. But then
after did you love it?
After I was like, what the fuck? This is way better. Like, I feel like $1 million ever since I've done that.
You got it all out.
I want to take that so bad just to feel that sadness. You know what I mean? I don't make it happy, make it sad. Give me something. I'm just tired of feeling the color gray.
You okay, buddy?
No, he's not. He's not. He's definitely not.
Do you do drugs? Like, because in quarantine, it's kind of like, well, quarantine's kind of lifted now, but now that it's, before it was, you're like, I might as well just do the drugs I have in my house,
Well, you know what I was thinking, like, all of quarantine, because everyone's kind of doing drugs. I feel bad for the Coke boys.
Yeah.
Like, no one's doing Coke. Those guys got to be out of work. They're filing for unemployment while the weed guys just cashing all the checks.
That's true. Or they're selling Coke to all, like, the stay-at-home moms.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
You know what?
They all moved out to the burbs.
Honestly, Coke is probably... It might be spiking, just not for party reasons, just for like survival reasons for the family. Like mommy and daddy are going 1,000,000 miles a minute. I don't know what's going on.
We're organizing. Oh my God. I'll admit, I popped an Adderall or 2 during this quarantine to just organize the shit out of my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I can't do Adderall anymore. I did Adderall. I did it like, fairly regularly in college, as often as anyone in college did it. And, obviously it's exactly what you do. You do more cleaning than studying. But like, I think I have severe TMJ from not
Adderall?
Sucking dick. Adderall.
You can't suck a dick.
I can't. But like, I'm gonna see if I can make it crack.
Oh, yikes.
Oh.
God damn, dude.
That's just
from
from
Adderall?
grinding from 2006 to 2010. That's just grinding.
God damn. That made me hurt. I'm uncomfortable just hearing that. God damn.
You should hear me eat a bagel. It's disgusting.
Yeah, Adderall wreaked havoc on me for a couple years because I did up to 70 milligrams a day at one point, and I was like, this isn't fun. Like, it was bad.
When I was taking a lot of Adderall, I would wake up in the middle of the night and I thought it was an earthquake, and it was just I could feel my heart beating through my mattress.
Oh my God, how much were you taking?
I don't know. Who counts? Like, come on. Look, you don't count beers, you don't count milligrams of Adderall.
Oh, okay. Well, then I feel better about my substance abuse problem because
I'm making you feel better a lot today. This wasn't my intention.
that's always what you do.
Yeah, if you need to pick me up.
Friends.
You need to pick me up. You come to Feitelberg. He'll make you feel real good. How are you holding up with not being able to get on stage and whatnot? I feel like all you comics, it's like your fucking life force. So when you can't go on stage, you just shrivel up and die.
Thanks. That's pretty accurate, though. It's been weird. Luckily, I have a couple podcasts, so I can just I use the podcast now as just stand-up comedy. Krystyna, who's a stand-up, has a solo podcast, and I've always loved listening to his because I could tell he tries out new bits on it.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking funny. So I've started a solo podcast so I could just run bit ideas. But today, actually, I'm going to a comedy club at 4. It's like a secret open mic for comics, just so we can feel what it's like to be on stage again.
You go and speakeasy comedy?
Yeah, a little prohibition action.
Fuck yeah! That's awesome.
Is it like could it get shut down? Is it like technically illegal or?
I don't think so. This same comedy club, I guess, had a outdoor show, and then the police department shut them down. But that was before the quarantine was lifted, so that makes sense. But now you can hang out at least 10. I don't know. It's just going to be for us comics, and it's going to be an open mic. And I haven't done an open mic in a while, but they're always that's the worst audiences because they're all comedians. So they don't give a shit what you're saying or write down what they're going to say.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. First time back on stage since March.
You think it's going to be all like quarantine material?
I fucking hope not. I'm so overboard. Like I don't even like with all the like I've been marching and stuff, and I'm like fuck quarantine. I forgot about COVID. Like I've been marching. I did one march at Times Square with Black Lives Matter, and there was thousands of us in Times Square kneeling like right next to each other. I'm like, if we don't get it, did it really ever exist? Because
if the numbers don't spike now.
Yeah,
somebody's got to do some answer. We got to get some answers on what really fucking happened here because that's the best. Do you think you're gonna get it though? Do you think it's gonna spike?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, everybody when I was marching, everybody was wearing their masks. My good friend who I've hung out with before and after had it, and he has the antibodies now. So I gotta get tested to see if I have the antibodies. It's like one of those tests where you're like, I don't really want to know, but you should.
Can you get the antibodies from someone who's had it and got lost it?
Yes, from what I understand.
Okay,
because I have changing. So
I have one buddy who had it, and
you should make out with them or suck his dick.
I was all over him, Krystyna. He didn't address it. I didn't address it, but it was a lot of thigh rubbing. We were actually on a boat, and I was like, oh man, these waves are crazy.
Wow. So you just straight up fucked your friend with COVID.
Yeah, fucking I was just the whole time do it for the antibodies, dude. Do it for the antibodies.
Yeah, that's why the antibodies.
Yeah, I gotta get those sweet antibodies.
So you got this new doc coming out, which I think sounds fucking awesome. By the way, I mean,
thanks.
We have definitely gotten more into the stand-up comedy world with our guests and whatnot on the podcast. So
yeah, we get the best of it because we get the funny people, but we don't have to go on stage and get humiliated. So
so thanks for doing that.
You cheated. That's great. Good for you. Really
totally gamed the system. So tell me about it. Funny Pains.
Funny Pains. It's out. It's available for stream. There's a bunch of platforms that you can stream it on. Funnypains.com is the website. But a documentary crew had been following around Wendy Starling, who is one of the funniest fucking comedians I've ever witnessed. I've told her this and she was like, okay, cool. But she's like a Chris Farley, but she's like a skinny chick. But she
told a girl that she's a Chris Farley?
Yeah, because it's Wendy. She can handle it. She's very thin, so it's fine. She knows that it's not the physical, but the way she commits physically on stage is just something that you can't take your eyes off of. So I was excited to hear that they were following documentary crew was following around for 4 years and just capturing every part of her life. The doc is a great love letter to starting stand-up comedy in New York City. She moved. She was in LA for a while, but it followed us around. It followed us around when I was still working at WeWork. I had the last job I ever had was this copier girl at WeWork, and I had this access key, and we would get into all the WeWorks after midnight and rehearse. And so they captured us rehearsing for a monthly show. And they followed her around and talked about all these crazy experiences she's had in her life that were very painful, that she's able to go on stage and make fun of her rape, make fun of being institutionalized, make fun of having sugar daddy. Like, she just doesn't give a fuck in a way that I've never seen. So, and the movie really portrays that very well. And then there's a bunch of killer stand-up comedians like Rich Voss, Bonnie McFarlane, Jim Norton, Andrew Schultz, Maron Kagani, Yamanika Saunders, and Nikki Glaser are in it too. And like, those people are
heavy hitters. Yeah, that's a who's who
and
right
so we
there.
did roundtables with them, and that's like a fucking dream. That's another way you could cheat into feeling like a stand-up comedian, is if you host a roundtable with a bunch of comics. You're just like, and I do stand-up, and I was like, this is awesome.
Were you like, you just kind of did an interview in the round table? Is it like
I hosted the round tables, and then they followed us around, because the movie's called Funny Pain, so it's basically taking all of the terrible things that have happened to you in your life and turning them into comedy. And
I'm just not enough horrible shit has happened to me.
Really?
That's the
Nothing
problem.
bad? What's the
well,
worst
no,
that
trust me,
happened?
definitely something bad. But it's a lot of it's like later in life. Like, I was way too happy during my formative years to be a stand-up.
That's okay. That's good. Wait, what happened later?
I went through a divorce and, public scandal and all this shit. But by that point, I feel like, my brain's already made. It kind of is.
Yeah,
what
the
it
frontal lobe.
Right, I'm all set. You guys, like, we just had Tim Dillon on our show for the first time, and he's thriving right now with the politicized, everything.
Yep.
It's right up his alley. But when we were doing it, I found the quote of him where he's like, I was a closeted gay man. My mother is schizophrenic. I started doing cocaine when I was 12. Like, he just like rattled off all the shit. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I just don't have any of that stuff. I wish I did. I wish I was fucked up.
Yeah, we were one time, the last stand-up show I did was at New York Comedy Club. And I remember being in the green room, and we were all going around. We just started telling stories about how our families are fucked up, and they were talking about their relatives. And I'm like, I had a really close family member try to kill themselves over the phone with me the night before I moved away to college. I win. And I did. I won it. I won this.
The champion. We're laid down their swords.
But laughing at being at a really low point and then figuring out a way to laugh at it, that's like better than sex almost.
That's everything. Yeah. And I feel like once you reach the point, like you're saying with Wendy, like it's when you don't give a fuck and you can say it openly with a smile on your face or laughing, and the audience is kind of like, oh, okay, oh shit, like we can laugh at this, like, and then it's just, then it becomes the most intriguing, interesting thing ever, because you don't get that anywhere else. Everyone else who has those fucked up issues keeps it quiet, they're ashamed of it, whatever it may be. This is the only place where we can let's laugh about assault and death and all that shit. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's the best, because that's the other thing I realized as I age is everyone's been through some shit, except for you. But
how's the podcast going? Is Guys We Fucked is still thriving, still killing it?
Yeah, Guys We Fucked is going great. It's really fun. Corinne and I are both single, but you can't fuck during quarantine, so I don't.
That was my next question. Like,
hang on a second. Like, we were just in the middle of Times Square with thousands of people. Like, a guy in the apartment's not quite so bad.
Well, yes. But then once that happened, once we were marching, and once everybody was caring about Black Lives Matter on a global level, I was like, fuck sex. I give sex. I'll have sex later. But during the quarantine part, I was like, man, I went on a dating app for one day just to see, and it was just like, ugh, it was just bad. It was just bad.
You didn't break quarantine once to get laid?
Oh, no, I broke quarantine a bunch, but it wasn't to get laid.
Priorities. I love it.
Yeah. Trust me, if I had an option, I would. I don't care. But yeah.
Right.
How does the show, you said you're both single now, how does the show work when you're not single?
The same. It doesn't work. So we just don't keep having sex with people, but most of our guests are not people we've had sex with. But because I've been single, we've had more of a roster of guests than when I had a three-way with a porn star and a other person that wasn't a porn star, a guy, two guys, and so that was fun.
You had a threesome with a male porn star?
So two dudes, yeah, one was a porn star.
Damn, girl.
Who's that fucking guy who's not a porn star?
Yeah.
That dude's got more confidence than I'll ever have.
Oh, yeah.
Did he like throw down, or did he get totally like outshined by the porn star?
No, both threw down. The other person is in a similar field as me.
Uh-huh.
And I was very proud of us all.
Dude, that's like if you were like, "Yo, do you want to come play basketball with Michael Jordan?" I'm just gonna embarrass myself. So no, I'll go watch my MJ play.
I'll sit in the corner.
I'll sit in the corner and fucking eat some popcorn.
That happened.
I mean, that has got to be. I cannot think of anything that would be a better dose of confidence than to walk out of a porn star with another male, and have her be like, everybody, like, well done with everybody. I would be on cloud fucking 11,000.
And I was. I couldn't sleep that night. I was so happy.
How is that your first time, or have you done that often?
That was the second time I'd ever done it with two dudes. The first time I was like 21, and it was two male models actually. I'm crushing.
Oh, look at this bitch!
What the fuck is going on over here?
Good for me. But yeah, because I was on this show where male models come over and renovate your apartment. It's called Hot and Handy. It was. I don't know if it ever made it on air, but
that sounds like it was a porn.
Yeah,
are you sure that wasn't two porn stars? Hot
no,
and Handy,
the after
get a
party
hand
was
job?
a porn. Yeah, but that was like I was 21, and yeah, so that I've only done that twice.
How does that materialize with your buddy and a male porn star?
Well, this guy was like a fuck buddy. So, and I'm very, because I host a podcast about sex, I'm very open to talking about I don't care. I don't, I'm not shy. So, so I think things can escalate quicker than normal because I'm not coy about it.
Right.
And this person wasn't either. So we had been like sleeping together for a couple months at that point. And, yeah.
No, but wait. Okay, fine.
You haven't
But then
introduced the porn star yet.
The porn star come in.
He brought it up. The other person was like, I think he brought it up. Did he bring it up? I don't fucking know. I don't remember.
Were you like
But I was
watching
talking
porn with
about-
him?
No, we never did that. But he brought it up. I brought up a female, male three-way, and then he brought up, he's like, would you ever be interested in doing a male, female? I'm like, wait, yeah.
Are you?
Like that?
Is that on the table?
And this person had followed him on Twitter. And so he was like, I'm going to DM him and ask. And he was like, yeah. I'm like, wait, he said yes? Oh, shit. And then there was this point where the three of us were on a text exchange. I'd never met this guy. And the non-porn star guy was like, yeah, I'm going to put us on a three-way text and we can like talk, like dirty talk or whatever. I'm like, oh, shit, word? Oh, my God.
This is the best. I would love this.
Yeah. And I remember being at the Olive Tree Cafe above the Comedy Cellar downtown, asking my friend, like, what the fuck do I say?
You gotta bring the heat.
Dudes, one's
Yeah.
a porn. Like, what the fuck do I say? And I remember reading back the text. I'm like, that was so. It worked at the time, but looking back, it was
well,
embarrassing.
anytime you read back, if you go back to your like sexts, and when they're not involving two men and a porn star, it's even just regular between a guy and a girl. When you're not in that mind frame anymore, you sound ridiculous. Like all your sex no sex age well, but those I would imagine are even more.
Yeah, Corinne and I have this segment on our live show where it's called Sexting Theater, and we'll say, who's sex here? Give us your phone. We're gonna do like a theatrical reading of your sex.
Oh,
it's the best segment we've ever done. It's so good.
That's
amazing.
I've had the exact opposite experience of you once, where a girl asked me and a buddy to have a three-way, and we were drunk, and we were like, "Fuck yeah!" But we weren't together. It was like on a text chain, and then we got sober and dodged a three-way for like a year and a half.
yeah, next weekend.
We'd be like together, like, dude, you're busy tonight.
And she kept inquiring. She wasn't getting the hint that you were
It was like, it wasn't a regular thing. Like, it wasn't like every weekend, like, hey, what's up? It was a girl like we didn't talk to often, and we just happened to be with her one weekend. And then like it would occasionally come up every few weeks to few months for it might maybe 3 years. We're just like, hey, what are you guys up to tonight? Like, well, I moved to New Hampshire and I live in New York, so
I have a child now.
I feel like most girls, average chicks, would be intimidated by that. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh yeah, I was intimidated as hell.
Yeah.
This guy was ripped. All the things that he was. Yeah. He was.
I know how it goes.
I know what a porn guy looks like. I'll tell you what. I'm probably more fucking zoned in on my porn guys than you are.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
We always joke.
You might know him. I could say it publicly because he came on the podcast.
Oh, then
do you know Ryan Driller?
That's a great name though. Let me see.
Maybe no.
I gotta have a face.
We'll
to
find
it.
out.
Ryan Driller.
I gotta see his dick.
Yeah,
I'll know the dick. I'll tell you that.
Wow, I'm proud of you. Your dick Rolodex is pretty up.
We always say the only time we like actually do any searching on a porn, like rather than just going down the front page of Pornhub, if I'm searching something, it's probably a male porn star.
Really?
Yeah, like the guys who I know throw down the way I like. I'm like, I'm gonna find him. The girl can change, but he's the one who drives it.
I love that. I love that. Like. Man love. That's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The also you just had sex with Jimmy Garoppolo. Like,
Yeah, he's very good looking.
I don't recognize him. Again, I haven't seen his penis yet, but just by his Google images, I don't recognize him, but that's Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's a very good looking cat.
Yeah, he's good looking. He played one time. He told me he's like, I played Superman once, and I was like, oh my god,
You got
he's
fucked by
awesome.
Superman?
Well, the way I was trying to not hook up during quarantine, but meet somebody. Because I just like when the quarantine hit, I had ended it with somebody that I was seeing, and I was like, this isn't healthy for me for a couple. So could put a kibosh on it. And there was not even anybody I was flirting with. So I would go at 7:00 when they would clap for the essential workers. I live by the hospitals, so all the fire trucks would park. I'm obsessed with firefighters, like devastatingly attracted to firefighters. It's so hack, but it's really palpable. Like when I go past a firehouse, I'm like, it's weird. And I would go and bring my puppy and like put my puppy in like a sweater and be like, look, hang on, dog.
That's an episode straight out of like Always Sunny. You're using the 7 p.m. nightly ritual to honor first responders putting their lives on the line to try to find some
COVID
dick.
around.
Yeah. Incredible. You're an OG of this game. You've been in it for a long time. So I wanted to get your perspective on another podcast in your realm, which was quite dramatic and a lot of headline news recently. What were your thoughts on the whole Call Her Daddy situation?
Oh, did you see our parody videos?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. It was interesting. I didn't. Corinne had told me about it initially, and because I had heard about Call Her Daddy because people tweeted us like, "Oh, the Call Her Daddies, they're kind of similar to you." And then we looked in and we're like, "Oh, it's like guys who fuck, but like we're hot." Corinne and I love making fun of ourselves. We love doing characters. So when we started doing those parody videos, I was like, I want to make sure I have a grasp of the situation because we didn't want to be mean about it because I don't not like them. There's no beef or anything. I don't even know them, but I think they're hilarious. And but the beef with the IP and giving away your IP accidentally is something that happens to a lot of young artists, young working people. And the podcast game is so new that actually I really it seemed from what I understood of the situation that Sophia's boyfriend was kind of like butting in.
Yeah.
And as somebody whose boyfriend butt in, like I had a 7-year relationship where he was just like, he edited the podcast and then I like dedicated my portion of my book to him. And then when we broke up, he tried to sue me for $110,000. And I was like,
that's
okay. So,
shit.
but there was moments in that relationship where he would try to be controlling over. He would say, well, when we go on tour next, I'm like, we? There's no we. It's Corinne and I. What the fuck are you talking about? So I don't know if it's that kind of situation, but I really empathize with that. And just knowing your IP and knowing that somebody had to tell me that it's one of the most important things when you sign a contract that you keep your IP, your intellectual property, your ideas are everything. That's what.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the difference with Barstool is like, there's no reason for Barstool to get into it unless they have their ownership and can like.
Yeah.
So it was
but
kind of
like the owner renegotiated and was going to give them all.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, it wasn't like when we signed them, when Dave negotiated with them, it wasn't like we're going to like steal these girls' IP. It was like, here's the deal. If you don't like give us the IP, then we're just not going to do this because we're not going to blow you up and have you just be able to walk away whenever you want. Mm-hmm. And they agreed to it initially. And then when they had like incredible success, they were like, well, wait a minute. And that's where it got dicey, where it was like, well, we already kind of made this agreement. But yeah, Dave eventually was like, okay, here, you can have it, and they
That's
still
unheard
say,
of. Like
I know. I'm sitting here. I'm on the other side, being like, "You did what, motherfucker?"
Yeah.
So
Well, that's why when the one of them walked away from that, I'm like, really?
Mm-hmm. It was like,
but
it was
I don't
probably
know the other half.
No, there really is no other half. It's like,
oh really?
I think they were gonna make at least like 500,000. I think they were getting a raise. I think they were getting a higher percentage of their merch, and they were getting the IP. And she just said no. I think what happened was the boyfriend like went out. He like stuck his neck on the line to get them out of Barstool and onto another podcast network. And the other girl was like, "Let's stick around." And she was like, "Well, wait a minute."
Barstool's a great network.
Yeah, I mean, I got no complaints, and like especially if I could own my IP and get like a fucking $750,000 salary. So I don't know what the drama was there, but it took the world by storm for a week. It was like every
it was
podcast
trending on Twitter. I was like, dude,
wild. Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
But what I always appreciate about you guys is I think if you talk the talk and you walk the walk. Like you will fuck a porn star and your friend. It just it goes down for real. So Guys We Fucked is always going to be a staple in that realm. So we're all going to check out Funny Pains next. Sounds unbelievable. If you're into the stand-up comic world, that sounds like an A-list of the best. So good shit, and congrats on the puppy. And I hope you get out there and keep protesting and do your thing, girl.
Yeah, thanks so much. It was good to see you guys. I want to get you guys on Guys We Fucked.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
I would love that.
We can hang out, right? You're at a studio, right?
Yeah,
So
I feel like we can kind of do what we used to do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Give me your info later. Somebody has my email address because I would love to have you guys on.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You boys are fun.
All right.
See you later.
Have a good one.
Bye.
All right. Big thank you to Krystyna. I mean, talk about coming in hot. Like stories about mushrooms and threesomes and like all sorts of name drops. I mean, she jam-packed a lot into that interview. So thank you for that, Krystyna. Everyone go check out that documentary. And now we'll wrap up today with our boy Jo Koy back live from his car, which you got to check the video, but you'll get the gist of it as well on audio. Jo Koy's reveal of what car he's in when I started busting his balls was so fucking, you know what's so crazy about that? He did it like he didn't realize how like cocky that was.
Yeah.
Like, he just kind of did it and we were like, oh, fuck, that was awesome. So some great laughs with our boy Joe, who has a new special out that is kind of the culmination of his whole career and the culture of his people. That is really cool on Netflix. So check that out and let's talk to him. Jo Koy on KFC Radio.
Is it working or no? What the fuck, dude?
There it is.
There we go.
Jesus Christ. Can I get any fucking older?
I don't know, man. Yeah, you can. You're using fucking headphones with cords.
Jesus Christ. Okay, all right, fuck you, first of all. Okay, I've noticed that when I use the earbuds, the audio quality is awful.
Sure,
so like,
sure it is, old man.
Wow.
I get that because we had Howie on yesterday, Howie Mandel, and he was in the AirPods, and we were talking over each other quite a bit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. So there. How's that?
What are you recording in the Bentley or the Rolls Royce or what? What are we in here today?
Why you got to do that, man? Why? It's a Porsche.
You motherfucker! I thought you were gonna be like, all right, this is embarrassing, but I'm in a Nissan Altima. You're in a Porsche, you son of a bitch!
That was big. I love that, Joe.
That was great. Good for you. That fucking
shit.
arena money is paying off, dude, huh?
This is the Vegas car, so yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So what's going on with that, by the way? You had, I mean, relatively recently opened up that restaurant, right? I'd imagine this was a big
hard.
struggle. Yeah.
You brought up a very sad subject because I feel really bad about we can't maintain it, man. It's just it's impossible. I have a restaurant that really counts on people interacting and eating. You know, they have to serve themselves. So and it only sits 40 people. So you know, you cut that in half. There's no way it can maintain. And plus, I've been shut down since the beginning of it. It's been 3 months since I let my employees go. I feel so bad, man. The first month I took care of them, but then after that I was just like, I can't.
No, I mean, I don't think anybody would blame me either. It just gets to a point where it's just literally and financially impossible. But, you know, life's long. I'd imagine you'll be back. You'll be back. Don't worry. One day.
Back. And I will be back. And I promise them that I will start something up again. And it just really, it hurt, man. It really hurt. Because there's none like I could have kept it up by, Jo Koy Entertainment, but that's not the right way to do it. That's not the right
You
move.
can't start messing with your, your core business. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And next thing you know, both of them are in the hurt shop. And who knew, if you knew for a fact it was only going to go one more month or something, maybe, but who knows what's going to happen. So
exactly. I mean, they're taking forever to open up now. It's barely opening up to restaurants. So yeah, it's crazy. I feel bad for everybody. It's a hard time right now. And I pray to God that everyone gets through this mentally, especially mentally. I'm suffering. You know what I mean? Like not being on stage and interacting and doing everything via Zoom. This is driving me nuts, man.
I'm so
it's
goddamn fucking sick of Zoom, Joe.
Yeah, I'm so sick of it. Ooh, is that better?
Yeah.
Is that better? Is that better?
Yeah,
that's great. They're both fantastic.
I feel like I'm doing a Zoom with my grandpa.
Who
Are you
gives
there,
a
Grandpa? Are you there, Grandpa Joe? No, but you're right. It's like if I hold the camera this way or that way.
Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
Are you guys okay out there? Your grandmother says hello. She loves both of you.
It's so true.
I talked to my dad.
Joe, I did a Zoom graduation for my 4-year-old in pre-K. Now, I would imagine a pre-K graduation in person is stupid. I can assure you over Zoom, it definitely is.
Oh, extremely stupid.
Yeah.
And very traffic causing, by the way. I don't know if you've seen the other type of graduations where they're doing drive-bys.
Oh.
Bro. On
you know what they
street,
did to me?
There was one. It was 300 cars down the street. I'm like, yo, fucking give them their diplomas. Let's go.
They said at the end of this one, they said, all right, like the graduation is done. We have some special things. I don't know what the fuck they meant, but some special things outside of the nursery school if you want to drive by and see them. And my daughter looks at me like, what's that about? And I was like, nothing. No, they didn't say anything. We're not doing that because I don't want to get stuck in one of these goddamn lines.
Dude, in Rhode Island, they're doing drive-through wakes.
No.
Yeah. You do a drive-through wake and a Zoom funeral. And I didn't go to the drive-through wake, but I can imagine, like, you just wave from your car. Whoop. That's got to be impossibly awkward.
Especially when you show up with a Porsche like an asshole.
Is there a way to do like a sad honk? Like, you can do like the fun honk, like the and it's like a little nice thing, like just a long
like a goodbye. Boys to Men playing in the background. It's so hard to say goodbye.
If we were doing a drive-through wake for you, let's say you're dead, okay?
Yeah.
What song do you want us to play at your drive-through wake?
Oh man, I would want a hip hop track.
Yeah.
Yeah,
get that b-boy. We'll bury you in your b-boy, your old b-boy outfits.
Something. No, I want something hard, like some DMX. X gonna give it to you. Just a parade. It's an anthem. You know what I mean? Maybe I pop up like they have me strung up and I'm dancing with them. Whatever. Let's make it a memorable event. It's a fucking drive-through. I'm going out with a bang, bro.
Do you have your stuff? Like, I imagine you have your affairs in order because you're an adult and stuff like that. Do you have like what you want to happen for your funeral procession and things like that?
Everything is already handled, man. It's all done.
What is
everything? And then my son is completely taken care of. It's all done. I die, I'm good. It'll be financially taken care of. My son gets everything. That's it, man. I tell him that all the time. I'm like, these Rolexes, I'm borrowing them. So you better
ease up on how often you tell him.
Yeah,
you let him know once, and then that's it. After that, you just fucking try to taunt.
Yeah. Oh, but I put my sister, his Anton. I go, you fuck up, we take it all away.
She's all right. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. That's smart. Yeah. If you are convicted of my murder, you get nothing.
You get nothing.
Are you? Do you have any dates? Like, are you opening back up? I know some place. I think Nate Bargatze's in Nashville. I know Krista Stefano's going to Tampa. Are you getting on stage anytime soon? And is it anywhere near home?
They're unfortunately, it's like I think it's the number of capacity they're not allowing. Yeah. And I already pre-sold those tickets. I gave everyone the option to return. No one's returning them. They're all holding on to them. It's so crazy.
A real fan base. That's a very supportful crew.
It's like tripping us out because we've said it. We stressed it. We're like, please, you guys, you're more than welcome to return these tickets. Like 100%, we're not going to hold you to it. No one's returning the damn tickets, man. It's so crazy, man. Radio City Music Hall is still sold out with no date in place. It's like
that's fucking awesome.
Cocky. That is you basically, this is some Emperor's New Clothes shit. You just sold a fucking show that doesn't exist, and then you said, guys, this show doesn't exist. Here's your money back, and they all said no.
No, it's beautiful thing, man. Thank God for. I think people just want to laugh, so they're like, I'm not getting rid of this.
I think people are also just fucking lazy.
Yeah,
like
get a refund.
I'd be like, wait, I gotta email someone for $40. I'd rather just not. Fuck it. Who cares?
Bro, so true.
I don't know
hit
how much
that on the nose, man. Yeah, you're so right about that. Because I ain't returning shit. I buy a new shirt and it doesn't fit. Guess what? It's a gift.
I have a full wardrobe for someone who's just a little bit smaller than me.
I have what I like to call, I have my medium drawer, and it's just full of fucking things that are medium, all different types of clothes, medium size that I'm never gonna be able to wear again.
Yeah. It either becomes a gift or you clean windows with it. I don't give a fuck. I'm not returning it.
So what else is cooking?
There's no date in place right now. It feels so bad. The next one I have is August. It's Thunder Valley is where it's at. But we still got to figure out how they're gonna do this social distancing thing. You know what I mean? It's all about the safety first, man. I'm willing to wait it out and make sure we do this right instead of doing it fast and wrong.
Right, you don't want to do it 25% capacity. You want to do full boat.
Yeah, full boat. And not only that, I want people to be healthy and comfortable, man. I don't want anyone nervous. So, I can tell you guys are really doing it. What are you, 2.5 feet apart? No fucking mask?
The cameras in our studio aren't working right now, so we just have to sit here. It's whatever. It's whatever, Joe, all right?
I know. I hear you, man. I don't give a fuck about the mask. It's right here, and I only wear it when someone looks at me weird. I'm like, all right, fucking here. There you go.
Dude, let me tell you what. You know where you'd fit in real well? What place I just got back from? West Virginia. They look at you like you're a fucking Democrat if you're wearing a mask. They are like, what is this blue state son of a bitch doing in my Applebee's?
That's exactly West Virginia. West Virginia's like, if you want to eat here, you need to take that fucking mask off.
You better cough on me, sneeze in my mouth.
Yeah, we're making ribeyes a special. We got extra COVID on it tonight.
Dude, I ate it out. For real, I was there for like 30 hours. I don't know, something like that. Ate at Applebee's 3 times. That's all we ate. Ate at Applebee's 3 times at a gas station once.
Oh, that's so funny. And Applebee's in West Virginia is like the Morton Steakhouse in West Virginia.
Dining.
Yeah, that's fine dining, man.
I'll be honest, it was quite good. The buffalo wings, which I haven't had Applebee's. Me and Kevin are actually technically banned from Applebee's from an incident stemming back to about 6-7 years ago.
And Chili's for life. Fuck Applebee's.
But this is my first time sneaking back into the establishment, and I had the buffalo wings or barbecue wings, or whatever. I mean, the texture of the sauce is glue. Yeah. It's delicious. It's dipped in a barbecue flavored glue.
That's
and
funny.
It sticks to your insides just like it.
Their barbecue sauce is made by Elmer's, and it's delicious.
You can like feel it in your mouth. This is way too thick.
Yeah. You know what this wing needs? Less chicken and more glue.
We went to Maine. We were in Applebee's. We went to the tobogganing championship. We had like 5 hours to kill in between like rounds of tobogganing. Anyway, we go to the Applebee's and we just post up at the bar, and they have like a rule. It's like
6 drinks.
6 drinks total. We were there for like 6 hours though, so it was like we weren't like shit-faced or anything. And they were like, they have the cameras, they're watching us. You've been cut off. And we kind of made a stink about it. And
what really pissed them off is it was like most Applebee's, it was in the parking lot of our hotel. So we went back to our room, changed clothes, thinking this will fucking dupe those Applebee's employees. They were wise to us.
They were on to you.
Right away, they're like, you guys are done for life. Applebee's, you're out.
That's so funny. We know who you are with the nose and the funny mustache, buddy.
Give it a twirl, John. He's been doing.
I don't have my wax. I can twirl it up. It's fucking unreal.
He's been doing like a cartoon bad guy with the mustache.
It's so weird that it takes 30 seconds to do, but you like wake up and you're like, well, I don't want to do it today. It's a whole 30. It's a 30-second thing that I'm not used to having in my routine, and I just brush it off most of the time now.
Plus, you don't do it because you're fucking lazy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's just like, oh, I could cure cancer with these extra 30 seconds if I don't just do my mustache.
What kind of quarantine guy were you? Were you in like your pajamas all day? I could see you being a guy who like gets up and gets changed and like tries to live a real life.
No. I was doing literally I was doing Zoom meetings like Yogi Bear. Like Winnie the Pooh. Like a red shirt. And then just completely naked on the bottom half. And I didn't give a shit. There was a couple of meetings where I was actually touching my dick and I didn't give a shit.
If you talked to Joe in the last 3 months, his dick was out.
Yeah. Just playing with my dick in an important meeting. And then every now and then I take a smell and like, yeah, agreed. I agree. Very important. Very important. I gotta wash my nuts.
We had one meeting where like I called in because this is such a thing that happens now where like conference calls you have to see each other. So I called in and they're like, "Hey John, we're all here. Like if you want to come in." And I was like, "I fucking guess. Like you don't need to see me for this meeting, but whatever." So I jump in and I was laying down on the couch. So I sat up, opened my laptop, fucking joined the Zoom, and then like 10 minutes into the meeting, I looked down and saw I was just wearing underwear, and it was with like all the executives of our company who were all women, and then the rest of the call is just like, "Don't stand up, don't stand up, don't stand up, don't stand up, don't stand up." Because it's once you realize that, I was like, my dick is just gonna be right in everyone's face, and that's a whole problem I don't need right now.
That's so funny. I wish you would have stood up. I wish you would have been like, "Hey, I gotta get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back," and just balls hanging out of the shorts.
So
hilarious.
As bad as it's all been, we've been reiterating how good it is for business, at least, when you got a special out and people are at home on Netflix and they're binging and watching, and you got In His Element out, right?
Yeah, man. This was very special to me, mainly because it was so hard for me to get into Netflix. I told you the story. I had to pay for it, and I had to there was a lot of obstacles in front of me. So just to get in was really hard. So this was that one opportunity where I had the door open, and it was my chance to help fellow Filipino Americans get in, you know what I mean, showcase their talent, and then bring them to the Philippines where it all started, and like show our culture and give back to my culture that gave me so much. I make so much money talking about being Filipino. This is my turn to actually show people, how beautiful that country is and how just beautiful my culture is, man. That's what this was all about.
I'm so fucking jealous of you. Like, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I've been driving home from West Virginia all day today. But I saw the trailer, and, like, the trailer is so fucking awesome. When you come on stage, like, I want to share my culture with you. And you show the B-boys, you have cooking. You said, I think you have some singers come out. And, like, now, don't get me wrong. White guys, we've had it pretty fucking good. But
we got no culture.
But we have no culture. I have nothing to share with you. Like the only Italians pretend to have culture, but they just call pasta sauce gravy and say the N-word. And that's all they have. And like the rest of us don't have anything. I have no culture to share with you. And it's fucking it's beautiful. See, the trailer kind of reminded me of like a stand-up special meets Bourdain, and I'm one of those rare people who's a big Bourdain guy. And it was so fucking cool. I'm so jealous.
That's exactly what I pitched in the meeting, man. I swear to you. Really? When I was in Netflix, I go, I want this to feel like Anthony Bourdain. I want feel like a travel log. You know what I mean? And get to know. Like I get 59 minutes, and it's just my chance to like just say one dish, like one Filipino dish that we like to eat. And if I could just let them hear our language just for 1 minute, you know what I mean? And then just see us tell jokes in front of a complete Filipino audience, and we're speaking English and they're understanding it. As long as I can show that to the world, that's my way of saying thank you to my mom. You know what I mean? This is her way of going, like when people, like when I was growing up, people would always go, "Oh, you're Filipino. What do you guys eat? Where is that?" Like I never had anything. If I had a Japanese friend, like the minute they go, "I'm Japanese," someone would go, "Oh my God, I love sushi." Summarize, they had like an identity. You know what I mean? And
but guess what? It's you, bro. When people say Filipino, I'm like Jo Koy.
Thank you, bro. And I'm telling you, man, it was like literally that was my heart out there. I took a huge risk and a cut to do it, and I hope I was able to at least show it the way in a beautiful way with the amount of money and time that we had to do it.
Would you say?
I hope I don't. Do I sound? Is that okay? What I said?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I hope I didn't sound like a
there's
jerk.
plenty more for you to come. You know, you're in the middle of your career here, but would you say this is like at the moment like the pinnacle for you, being able to do that?
Yeah. Yes, man. It was a dream come true. This is a childhood dream of mine. I used to live in the Philippines. I lived there for 6 years. So just all the memories I had when I got off the plane with my son, like it was just like I was like a little kid in a candy store. Like I couldn't wait to show my son all the things that I enjoyed when I was out there, like riding the tricycles and riding the jeepneys and eating at the Sorry stores and just. It was so much fun, and I got to show that, man. I got to show that on screen with my son. He came out on stage at the end. That was beautiful. And then my sister and my aunt cooked in the cooking segment. So that was my aunt. That was like my aunt. I haven't seen her. Yeah, man. Like that's my aunt. Like it's so dope, dude. And she's got cancer and she's fighting it, and she's so strong. And I remember while we were shooting, I kept saying, "Ate, you can go home." Like she's like, "No, I want to do this. I want to do this." And I was like, it was just so much emotion in that thing, man.
That was, and I think you had on Instagram, you had up like a hype video maybe or something like that, where like actually it might have been a straight up video where like the cops were giving you an escort. Was that there? Was that for that?
Dude, that was so crazy. Yeah,
you getting police escorts, Jo Koy?
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, now that was cool like 2 weeks ago. Now you're part of the problem. That's privilege, so man. Wrong. That's privilege.
So wrong. Yeah, it was pretty cool, man, that they had to do that for me. I had to get to an event and they got me there, and the way they did it was really cool.
When you roll through there, is it like, is it a big deal? I mean, when you're home, is it like the fucking Beatles?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy how much they embraced me, and I think Filipinos are very prideful, and it's like, it's when you get your chance to be able to let the world know, hey, I'm Filipino. Look, Manny Pacquiao, that's us. You know what I mean? It's we take that to our heart. It feels good when you can do something like that. So just me like being my mom on stage and doing the accent, they love it. And me just talking about Filipino culture, it's like so proud. So they really like put me on their shoulders, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Are you cool with Manny?
The craziest thing is I only met Manny once, and it was like 15 years ago. And I've never like talked to him since my career started. And then after Live from Seattle dropped, his whole family started following me on Instagram. It was the coolest notification when it said Manny Pacquiao follows you. I was like, oh,
yeah, that's how you know. Well, dude, I mean, I'm glad to hear. I feel like every time we talk to you, it's bigger and better things. So,
man,
and I can tell how important it is to you, and I know how emotional of a guy you are. So I'm sure it translates in the special, and I hope that when everyone watches it, they realize really what went into it. So everybody go check it out. In His Element is out.
I love you, man. Thank you. I really like Barstool. Barstool, you guys always take care of me, man. Dude, you've got me through I can't tell you how much Barstool I've been looking at right now. I'd love to take a screenshot of my hours on Instagram, but literally I think it's like 75% is just Barstool, just scrolling up Barstool,
support, man.
It's just nonstop, man. I love you guys so much, KFC, man. You guys, I love you.
Talk to you soon, all right, pal?
I love you. Hey,
Vegas. I love you too. I always say I never leave an I love you unanswered. I love you too.
That is very sweet.
But I do too, Joe. Fuck, I love you too.
That's a piggyback. That's a piggyback.
You know what? I don't love you. Fuck you, Joe. Fuck you.
I love you guys.